Welcome, everyone, to Southern Virginia University for Knights Softball. I'm Jim Bresnahan, joined by Seth Hansen, ready to bring you a doubleheader today between Southern Virginia University, the Knights of Southern Virginia, taking on the Owls of Maine Presque Isle. It is a non-conference doubleheader coming up here for the Knights, who are coming off a doubleheader loss in conference action to Penn State Harrisburg this past Saturday, losing the first game of that doubleheader 15-2 in 6 innings, and then losing the second game in a close one, 9-7. So the Knights come in today 7-13 on the season, 0-2 in the conference, and again, this is non-conference action today. They'll be facing a Maine Presque Isle team that is 4-2 on the season. They were supposed to play a doubleheader yesterday, got rained out. So we'll see which team is ready to go here in game number one, with the starting pitcher for the Knights here in game one will be Megan Stapley.
Yeah, Jim, and Maine Presque Isle, their head coach, Sarah Shaw, she's beginning her third season at the helm for the Owls. In her last 2 seasons, she has a winning record of 37-30, so done really good things with their program. To note, last year they really made the jump. They finished 26-15 and qualified for the national tournament in Akron, Ohio. Of course, Southern Virginia was able to beat them last year, even when they had such a good program. So it should be a good test today. Of course, the Owls come in, like we said, they have a winning record, so should be some good action for Southern Virginia today.
And again, Megan Stapley is the starting pitcher here in game one for the Knights, and the first pitch of the game is fouled off by number 9, Ariel Williams, and quickly setting the Knights defense. It looks like some changes. We got Rachel Moore, who usually has been playing at center field. She is at second base today, and Ayetanu is going to get the start at first base, as that pitch is over, but looks like it was a called strike for the second strike, I guess, on Stapley. And at shortstop, we've got Molly Gabbard, the shortstop Gabbard. This will be her first start, I do believe, at shortstop. And we'll set the outfield for you in just a second. That one is a little inside by Stapley. And then at third base is Gastelum. And then in the outfield, in right field, is Tara Hilton Seth. And the left and center fielder, looks like in center field is going to be Madison Rigby. And over in left will be Melody Payton. And the catcher is Heather Terranova. And again, the starting pitcher in this first game will be Megan Stapley.
And a key player to watch for today is number 24, like you mentioned, at first base, Losi Ayetanu. I know she missed some time this season. The ball grounded foul there. She missed some time earlier this year. I believe it was an ankle injury, if I'm correct. But having her back in the lineup is good. She brings a good bat to the lineup there. So she'll be someone to watch on both sides of the ball, see how well she gets back into this game.
That's Seth. Last season, we looked it up. The Knights were able to sweep this Maine Presque Isle team in a doubleheader last season in a non-conference doubleheader. So it's become a regular matchup to see these two teams meet in a doubleheader. A good chance for Maine Presque Isle to get out of the cold north of Maine and maybe circuit this part of the country to play some non-conference games, although they have played 6 games already, and again, they're 4-2. They came in as a team hitting 300. The Knights came in hitting 287. That one popped at the second base, and Rachel Moore with the easy put away.
That's a great start for Stapley, too. That's what you need to see from her, get those easy, quick outs so that the Knights can get back to swinging the bats and hopefully put a lead on the board.
And now Jordy Lagasse will come to the plate, the number 2 hitter in this first inning for Maine Presque Isle. Knights had that 6-game winning streak snapped in that doubleheader loss on Saturday to Penn State Harrisburg. They lost the first game badly, 15-2, but then came back from a big deficit in game 2 to almost take the lead and win that game, but ended up losing that second game of the doubleheader to Penn State Harrisburg on Saturday, 9-7. Megan Stapley, the starting pitcher, came into the action today with an ERA of 7.72. Stapley and Megan Harmon, of course, have been flip-flopping the starting pitchers. And Maine Presque Isle, they have played 6 games so far this season. But Sarah Packard, number 13, has started all 6 of their games. We'll see if she starts both games of the doubleheader. That one grounded to first, and Ayetanu not able to make the play. She had trouble finding the ball. And the base runner, the hitter, Lagasse, was able to get down the base and down the line and just make it to first base in time.
Yeah, Jordy Lagasse there, making it to first, like you mentioned. She'll be interesting to watch. She does have 2 stolen bases on the year. So hopefully the Knights can limit those free runners going across the bases and keep her at first right here.
Emma Gogan, the next hitter, pops it up, but Terranova not able to get over there and make the play. Knights, after today, will wait a few days and then go on the road, play at Wesley on Friday in a doubleheader. Knights still looking for their first Capital Conference win, I believe, of all time, and certainly of this season. They are now only 0-2 in the conference, but you know that Coach Courtney Hall, this would be the season that she would love to get some Capital Conference wins. So the hitter, once again, is Bogan, or Gogan, Emma Gogan. She's only a freshman. Runner at first and one out. That pitch a little high, but it caught the corner and hit the letters. Stapley would love to get a double play ball here. Although, again, we've got Rachel Moore at second base and Gabbard at short. And there's a strikeout.
And that'll be huge for Stapley's confidence. Like we said, it's good for her to get into a rhythm early, get some quick outs. We know that at times she's had some trouble getting the base runners off the base pass, but as of late she's pitched a little better, and that's what we want to see there. A quick strikeout, huge for her confidence.
2 outs, runner at first. And the cleanup hitter takes a called strike. This is also the pitcher, Sarah Packard. Pretty good ERA. She's got 2.72 on the season, 2.72 as Stapley looks to put her away for the third out. That one grounded to short. Gabbard doesn't go to second, goes over to first, and that's the third out of the inning. So the Knights do very well in the first, not allowing any runs, and we will go to the bottom of the first inning with this game scoreless, and the Knights coming up to hit in the bottom of the first inning. Knights ready to hit here in the bottom of the first inning after Megan Stapley was able to pitch a scoreless top of the first inning, and Tara Hilton will come to the plate, leadoff hitter for the Knights, hitting .362 on the season. Tara's really racking up some good numbers early on here, Seth, in this 2017 season. Although we mentioned a few minutes ago the Knights still looking for their first Capital Conference win. I got to believe Courtney Hall would like this year to be the year that they win some conference games, and only 0-2 so far, having only played the Penn State Harrisburg, but they've got Wesley coming up on Friday.
Yeah, and we talked about they were on a 6-game winning streak at one point. Of course, all those were non-conference games, but if you're winning 6 games in a row, clearly you're doing something right. Coach Hall, I'm sure, just is preaching to her team, whatever we had going during that 6-game win streak, we've got to bring into conference play and start making some noise.
Knights would like to get some wins here today, maybe a little momentum for that Wesley doubleheader coming up on Friday. Again, Sarah Packard is the starting pitcher for Maine Presque Isle, at least in this first game. She's a junior. She is 4-2 on the season with a 2.72 ERA. She has started all 6 games Maine Presque Isle's played, so we'll have to see if she also gets the call for the starting nod in the second game of our doubleheader today.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting that she's the only one that's pitched so far. Of course, we know difference between softball and baseball. That underhand motion you pitch in softball, it's much less wear and tear on your arm, so you can go more innings. But still, usually you see softball teams with 1 or 2 really solid pitchers for you. That one's in foul territory.
You know, and if they play like in the summer leagues, or at least maybe outside, I guess, the regular season, they really build up arm strength. And depending on who you talk to, you know, pitch counts really aren't that important, I guess, in softball.
Yeah, when you're another foul back there, and if I don't know, I mean, the coach must just think if, you know, they're 4-2 on the season, if you've got something that's working, you don't need to fix anything, right? So they're just putting a lot of faith in her right now, and she's produced pretty well this season so far.
Mentioned that Hilton's 362 average. She leads the team in RBIs, too. That one pounded out to right field, but an easy play for the right fielder for Maine Presque Isle. So Maine Presque Isle's right fielder makes the play, number 2, Mariucci, and that is the first out of the inning. And now Megan Harmon will come to the plate, and Megan is also having a pretty good season at the bat. She's hitting .286 so far. Left-handed hitter takes the ball.
We've talked about Harmon before. She's a freshman. They rely on her doing a lot of the pitching duties. We'll probably see her in Game 2 of today. But she also does it with the bat. You know, she's a great pickup, especially being a local kid, played here at Perry McClure High School. And so they're really excited about her going forward in the program, hoping they can build the team around her as she can be a 4-year starter for them.
And she strokes that ball to center field for a hit. Throw back in, and Megan's going to stick at first base. So Harmon is reached with 1 out, and that will bring Stapley to the plate. And Stapley's had some good power numbers this year. She's got 12 RBIs and also has 2 homers. Hilton, Gabbard, and Stapley lead the team, each with 2 home runs so far.
I don't know if you remember, Jim, a few weekends ago, we were here when Stapley hit one. It was a moonshot to left center. That was pretty impressive, so I'm sure she's looking to replicate that again today.
Harmon takes her lead. Nice bunt by Stapley. Throw over. That's the out at first. Harmon keeps going to third. No one was over there. Good smart play by Harmon to recognize nobody seemed to be covering third base for a potential throw, and she just kept on going. And by the time they were able to get somebody over there, Megan was already in. And what that does, it allows you now with a wild pitch to score a run, whereas if she's at second base, you can't do that. Needs a hit.
And just another reason you see why Coach Hall is so excited about Harmon. She's just a smart player, got her eyes up and saw no one was covering third, and she made the most of it. Great play by Harmon there.
Gabbard has 2 homers, 9 RBIs, hitting .275 on the season. She's trying to drive home Megan Harmon. Wild pitch will get her home. Pass ball will get her home. A hit. And perhaps some sort of error by the Maine Presque Isle defense. As the Knights tried to score first here in the first inning. Packard low with that pitch. Melanie Payton, the left fielder, is on deck. Knights dugout making a lot of noise, Seth.
Yeah, they're definitely excited about the situation. My first thoughts, you know, is watching how this game gets started. It seemed like last time, you know, there was a lot of first pitch swing and a lot of ground out, swinging at pitches that weren't necessarily in the zone. You're seeing a lot more patience here, which is great to see. This should produce some good at-bats for them.
Especially if the Knights really, you know, rock Packard and they plan to start her twice, which maybe perhaps how she does here in Game 1 might decide whether she starts Game 2 or not.
Yeah, definitely. I think
that ball hit
slapped into right
field for a hit.
It's an RBI
by the right fielder. Gabbard takes the wide turn, and she'll make it into second base. She didn't have the best turn there, but she had plenty of time to get from first over to second. Harmon scores. It is 1-0 Knights.
That was a great at-bat, too. We talked about the patience. She was just waiting for her pitch. But it kind of an outside pitch on the plate there. She didn't try to do too much with it. She just kind of slapped it to right field rather than pulling it. A lot of times you do that and you roll your wrists over. It just ends up being a ground out. But great piece of hitting by Gabbert right there. And Knights are on the board. That's what you want to see, a 1-0 lead. Not only does it get your team fired up, but it probably helps Stapley relax as she goes back out to pitch in this next inning. Hopefully they can tack on another run here, though.
And now Payton is the hitter. She came into the game today hitting .293. She has 8 RBIs along with a single homer. And she's got Gabbard over at second base. To get her home, I would imagine from second on a single, we'll need some depth into the outfield. That ball hit into the outfield and gets by the center fielder. Gabbard will easily make it home.
Wow.
The center fielder for Maine Presque Isle just looked like she was not able to get there on time, tried to dive for the ball. Looked like Mariucci, or perhaps make that.
Ariel Williams,
yeah,
it looks
Ariel
like.
Williams was going to make the play.
Yeah, it looked like to me at first off the crack of the bat it was going to be a routine fly ball, but it kind of just knocked itself down, and I don't know if Williams didn't have a great jump on it, but either way, great play for the Knights, take an early 2-0 lead.
Now Rachel Moore will be the hitter with Peyton at first base. 2 outs, Knights on top here. 2-0 Knights. Peyton takes her lead. That pitch gets away from the catcher. Peyton will go on down to second base. So the Knights looking for maybe more here with Rachel Moore. Only a single away potentially from giving the Knights a 3-0 lead.
Everything going the Knights' way at this moment. Great heads-up play, way to hustle to second, like you mentioned, in scoring position or a chance to really blow this inning open for them.
Tanu's on deck. That ball hit foul.
And the Knights would love to see Ayotanu get up in this inning with a couple runners on base. She's got a lot of pop in her bat. Really, like we mentioned, could blow the inning open for them.
Swung on and missed, and that's going to be the third out of the inning. But the Knights pick up 2 runs, and at the end of 1 inning, your score is Southern Virginia 2 and Maine Presque Isle 0. So Jackie Piers will lead off the second inning for Maine Presque Isle. I believe, you can check me on this, Seth, but I think Jackie Piers is hitting .474 on the season. And if so, she's had a pretty good start to her season, just 6 games in, but she is a dynamite hitter, and we'll see if Megan Stapley can perhaps put her away to lead off the second inning. Got her to swing and miss on that first pitch. The Knights, again, picking up 2 runs in the bottom of the first, and Stapley had a base runner for Maine Presque Isle in the top of the first, but did not allow any runs.
Yeah, you're right, Jim. She's hitting .474 as well. She's got 2 stolen bases, so someone they want to keep off the base path for sure.
Maine Presque Isle's played 6 games, a lot against competition in Maine. They're making their southern road trip over the next few days and hoping to come in here for a victory. But, of course, last year the Knights were able to beat them twice. That ball's popped to the outfield. Center fielder makes the call, and Madison Rigby able to make the catch. Madison Rigby, who's been getting a lot of starts at second base this season, is the starting center fielder. We mentioned a little shakeup in the infield with Rachel Moore, who had been in center field, getting the start today at second base, and Gabbert, who's played mostly first base in her career, is at shortstop today. So Courtney Hall maybe just trying to shake things up a little bit in a non-conference doubleheader. Next hitter is Ayanna Walker, and she is a freshman. Stapley cruising right now with a 2-0 lead on the top of the second inning with 1 out and nobody on base. And she got Walker to swing and miss.
Boy, and if Stapley can keep hitting that low inside corner like that, it could be a great, quick day for her. just getting those strikes, it's huge for her confidence, and it's hard to elevate, keeps the ball on the ground, and hopefully a bunch of routine ground balls to get the outs there.
Went high that time and got the swinging strike. So Stapley with another strikeout.
And it's important for Stapley. I was talking about the low pitches, but it's good for her to mix up her levels, that eye level. If you keep hitting the same spot in the zone, hitters, they begin to start catching up on it and able to make those adjustments. But if you keep changing up your location, it could be a really long day for the Owls.
Now Delaney Strout will be the hitter. She's the catcher for Maine Presque Isle. Stapley, by the way, came in with 35 strikeouts. Megan Harmon, the other starting pitcher for the Knights, has 44 strikeouts for the season. So pretty good competition there between the two starting pitchers to see who might finish the year with the more strikeouts. Stapley, I believe, has 2 so far today. Harmon has 5 wins on the season. Stapley has 2 wins. Harmon's ERA coming in 4.15. Stapley's was 7.72, but she's hoping for a good effort today to maybe lower that ERA down around 5.
Hey, Jess, did you turn your headset up a little bit? Yeah. Try again. How about now? Oh, that's much better.
Stapley trying to get the next out here, and she hit the batter. Came in on the shoulder, and the hitter just not able to escape, so runner at first with 2 outs.
Yeah, it looked like it might have caught her on the funny bone there. If you've ever been hit there, it's not a good feeling. That'll be interesting to see as it goes forward how it affects her in the field. That's Delaney Strout, it looks like. Hopefully she's okay, though. Of course, we don't ever want any injuries, but something to keep an eye on as the game plays on.
Especially that she's the catcher now. So that could be something else she's got to shake off in one of the more important defensive positions. Stapley will now face the right fielder, Marici. That ball outside for a ball. So in each of the first 2 innings, Maine Presque Isle's had a base runner, but no run so far as the Knights lead here 2-0.
And Stapley here, she just needs to relax a little bit. Unfortunately, she plunked that last batter, but with 2 outs, there's a good opportunity to get out of here without any damage done. You don't want this inning to get away from you. She just needs to focus on the batter at the plate.
Stroked foul down the right field line. This will be the last non-conference matchup for the Knights until April the 18th. The Knights will end up the season on the 18th, taking on Bridgewater, and on April the 19th against Christendom. In between then, we have all these Capital Conference games. Wesley coming up on Friday with future road trips, including a doubleheader on Saturday at Salisbury. Then next week, April the 5th, Frostburg. April the 8th at York. Doubleheaders, all of these. And then they'll wrap things up on the 14th and 15th in Capital Conference play against CNU and then Mary Washington. That pitch is high. Throw down, base runner back. And suddenly, Stapley's having a little control problem here in the last couple of hitters. She's trying to nail down the 3rd out of the 2nd inning. That pitch is outside for ball 4, and so 1st and 2nd with 2 outs. And now it looks like coming up will be Brianna Losi, left fielder.
And I was going to say, I wonder at what point do you see Coach Hall come out and talk to Stapley for a minute just to try and calm her down? Because with a lead like this, you don't want to see it get away. Stapley definitely is capable. That looks like a pop-up behind home plate. Oh, just out of play.
Especially against the bottom of the order, as you mentioned. You really want to take advantage of the bottom of the order. You don't want the bottom of the order to start the rally.
Yeah, definitely. And like we said, Stapley's definitely capable. It's just when she relaxes and she focuses in is when she pitches her best. But Coach Hall's clearly shown the faith in her right now to make the adjustments and get this last out of the inning.
2 outs, 2 on. Took something off that pitch and missed. Leadoff hitter will be on deck. Ariel Williams is on deck. That fouled off again, so 2 strikes on the hitter.
And that was a break for Stapley. Forces the hitter to now protect a little more because that pitch was out of the zone. But, I mean, if you can get these batters to start swinging at pitches out of the zone, that's a good thing. So hopefully she can get this last strike here.
Like to end the second inning with a strikeout with 2 runners on base. And Stapley's pitch is low. So now crunch time here against the hitter with Brianna Losi trying to get a big hit. She's a junior. Pitch popped up. Terranova
in play.
Got it.
Good work.
So that is the 3rd out of the inning, and Maine Presque Isle has now left 3 on base. They have no runs. We'll go to the bottom of the second with the Knights on top here, 2-0. Jim Bresney had Seth Hansen back here at Harvey Dryden Field with the Knights leading as we go to the bottom of the second inning, leading the Maine Presque Isle Owls 2-0 after getting 2 runs in the bottom of the first. And Stapley's had 3 base runners allowed pitching for the Knights, but has been able to leave those runners on base, Seth, and as a result, she's pitched 2 shutout innings.
Hey, and whatever it takes, right, to get those outs, it's huge for her confidence, and the Knights looking to add a few more runs, give Stapley a little more breathing room, and it should be a good game for the Knights.
And Ayatanu will come to the plate now. See if she can get into the swing after being inactive for the better part of this first part of the 2017 season. Maybe get a clutch hit here to get on base and maybe start a rally for the Knights in the bottom of the second inning. Lucy is a senior. Called strike. Rigby's on deck, followed by the catcher, Terranova. Another called strike inside.
She's got to protect now. Anything close, I imagine you'll see her trying to put the bat on the ball.
And she swings and misses for a strikeout. So Sarah Packard records a strikeout to start her bottom of the second inning. And now here is Rigby. Madison Rigby, the freshman from Blackfoot, Idaho, 5'2", playing a lot of second base this year, but today Rigby is in center field. And she drag bunts. Nice bunt. Packard throws over to first and safe.
She beat it out.
Just beat it.
Good hustle there. I was just about to say, too, Rigby, you talked about she's normally playing second. They've moved her to center field. And that just shows the athleticism that she has. She's really versatile, makes gives Coach Hall a few different options, and you saw the athleticism right there, beating out that bunt right there. Great play, great way to get her on base.
She's got 2 steals this year. Terranova launches the ball to short, and she beat the throw to second base. Good speed by Rigby. Questionable there by the shortstop. I would have thought she would have gone over to first simply because Rigby's speed got her into second base.
Yeah, and it wasn't the hardest hit ball to short, but of
Yep.
course Rigby really putting the pressure on her. Just good hustle, making things happen for the Knights right now. They're set up, it looks like, for a good inning.
And Tara Hilton, who's one of their better hitters this year, 362 average coming in, chops that ball foul. So the Knights have first and second, 1 out. And Harmon is on deck. So again, the Knights with a big hit here could add to their 2-0 lead. That pitch high.
Hilton, she's another player with a lot of speed. We saw a few weeks ago she had that inside the park home run. Great play. Love to see her on base, give a ton of speed on the bases for the Knights.
And she dragged bunts foul. Hilton also has 3 homers this year. Leads the team, or make that 3 stolen bases. She has 2 homers, tied for the lead in home runs on the team, and leads the team in stolen bases with 3. Right now she's looking to get a hit. Stays alive with the foul back. Yeah, with Harmon and then Stapley and Gabbert to follow her, this has the makings, potential at least, of a big inning if Hilton can get a hit. And she puts that ball to the outfield. It's going to drop.
Blow. There we go.
And
Oh,
Rigby is out at third. Maybe she thought that ball was going to be caught. That's almost one. You've got to go a little bit further off second base, I would think. Give yourself a chance to get over to third. It's a tough call, though, for her.
Yeah, she certainly was caught between a rock and a hard place there. Because if it is caught, it would have been caught right next to second base. So
doubled up easy.
Yeah, it was a tough call. Unfortunate break for the Knights, but still in position if Harmon can get a base hit here.
So the Knights still have 2 runners on at first and second, but now 2 outs in the inning. And it will take a base hit by Megan Harmon to bring home the 3rd run. Knights lead here, 2-0. Harmon takes a called strike. Hilton has good speed, so something in the gap. And that ball launches the center fielder right there to make the play for the 3rd out. The Knights had some big potential there in that second inning to get some runs, but they come up scoreless in the second. Still, we play 2, and the Knights are on top here, 2-0. Jim Bresnahan, Seth Hansen back here with you at the fields at Southern Virginia University for Knights softball. They lead Maine Presque Isle 2-0 as we go to the top of the 3rd inning.
And Jim, we saw that that last out there for the Knights. Megan Harmon squared the ball up really good. It was one of those times though where if you kind of square it up and hit it too hard, you're going to hit it right to the outfielder, which is what happened. Huge blow, but they still have the lead here as Stapley goes back to work.
Then it gives you reason to expect that the Knights keep stroking with the bats against the pitcher Packer. They're going to add to that 2 runs they've got on the board so far.
Yeah, definitely good signs. If you're going to get outs as a hitter, that's what you want to see. Good contact as that's dribbled up to the front.
Stapley makes the play, and that's the first out of the inning.
Great play by Stapley to recover and square her feet, able to fire it over to first. Huge first out for the Knights.
So 1 gone. And now it'll be Jordy Lagasse coming to the plate for Maine Presque Isle with nobody out, or 1 out and nobody on base. Maine Presque Isle's had 3 base runners, not been able to get anybody home so far. Stapley has pitched a shutout for 2 1/3. Pitch is low. Good crowd on hand. A little windy, Seth, but couldn't ask for better weather.
Yeah,
especially after all the rain earlier today.
Yeah, it really cleared up. It looked like it was going to be a stormy day all day, but you wouldn't have known there was rain earlier.
And we haven't seen anybody kind of slide in the outfield, so it looks like everything's kind of dried off too. Stapley right now is trying to get this hitter with 1 out in the 3rd inning. Doesn't want to walk anybody and put anybody on base. That's the called strike there.
Nice pitch on the outside corner. That's such a tough pitch to hit as a batter. Only thing you can do is really slap it to right, but really nice spot there. Hopefully she can keep that up.
Pitch right in front of the plate. Terranova makes the throw down. That's out number 2. So now Stapley suddenly looking at a 1-2-3 inning if she can get the next hitter.
And I think that play is it's a lot harder than it looks as a catcher because you've got so many things going on. You're trying to frame the pitch, make it look like it's in the strike zone, and then once it's dribbling out in front, you got to pop up and get that mask off. Just a great play by Terranova to get the out there.
And make sure you throw around the hitter. As that ball's hit down to shortstop, Gabbert throws over, and the throw is offline. So Maine Presque Isle will have a base runner here in the top of the 3rd inning. 1 on with 2 outs. Gabbert, again, her first game that I know of at shortstop, at least this season, I believe. And she got to the ball in good shape, just kind of threw offline a little bit. And so Maine Presque Isle has a runner at first with 2 outs.
She was playing so deep as she kind of is right now. That made her possibly rush the throw a little bit, but still not too big of a deal if Stapley can get some work done right here. With the 2 outs, they're in good shape.
The opposing pitcher, Sarah Packard, is the hitter with 2 outs and a runner at first for Maine Presque Isle. That ball launched deep, and it is going to be out of here.
Oh, geez.
2-run homer by Packer. That ball just kept carrying to center field. No chance for Rigby to make a play on the ball. And just like that, we're tied at 2.
And just as I mentioned, I might have jinxed them. Hopefully not. That error, that throw off the first base really hurts them now as the pitcher, Packard, decided she was going to take matters into her own hands and tie this game up for herself.
Well, we've seen at times how the ball can really carry in this ballpark, and that one just kept going.
Yeah, she kind of backspinned it out of here. It looked like a pop-up at first, but when you've got that backspin on the ball, if there's enough, it really can carry.
And so now Jackie Piers is the hitter as Maine Presque Isle's tied this game in the top of the 3rd inning. They've had base runners in every inning. And this time at the top of the 3rd, they cash in with a 2-run homer.
That really was the only time in this game so far, though, they've had any type of solid contact. Everything else had been dribblers or grounders. But she really found it there, really saw the pitch, waited on it, and kept her weight back and sent it out of the yard.
So the shutout has gone for Stapley. Now she's just trying to get out of the 3rd inning in a 2-2 game and hope her offense can give her the lead back in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Stapley trying to get the third out of the inning, and that ball's rifled into left field for a base hit. Suddenly, Maine Presque Isle's offense has come alive here in the third inning. Now, Anna Walker will be the hitter with a runner at first and 2 outs. Still 2 outs. Stapley trying to nail down the third out of the third inning. And she's high with that pitch. Fouled away. 1 strike on the hitter, 1-1.
And that was a better location there. You see the ball hitting the bottom of the strike zone. Not much you can do with it. The one Packard sent out was a little bit higher, about belt high. So hopefully keep him down in the zone is what Stapley's goal is.
Popped up, and Rachel Moore, second baseman, will put it away for the third out. So Maine Presque Isle gets a 2-run homer from Packard. We'll go to the bottom of the third. We are all even at 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I
I
didn't
was
see
hoping
that.
you guys would see it and say something.
I didn't see that. My wife was like embarrassed.
Welcome back to the fields at Southern Virginia University. Softball action today. Knights and Maine Presque Isle Owls. Jim Bresnahan along with Seth Hansen. We'll go to the bottom of the third inning with the Knights and Maine Presque Isle all tied at 2 after Sarah Packard, the starting pitcher for Maine Presque Isle, hit a 2-run homer for the Owls in the top of the third inning.
Yeah, I know Stapley was frustrated. She had 2 outs. Looked like she was going to have a quick inning, but let that one pitch get away. Look for her. She's going to be looking to get one of her own here.
Stapley, the hitter, with the foul off, has a strike on her. She'll try to get something started to give the Knights maybe the lead back here in the bottom of the third inning. That pitch a called strike.
And softball's a tricky thing, Jim, because we've talked you don't want to swing at bad pitches. You got to be patient, but it's a fine line you got to walk because you got to make sure you're swinging at the pitches that are in the zone. She fouls that one off to stay alive. You know, you kind of just got to find that groove, and the best hitters know where that balance is.
Gabbard is on deck, and then followed by Payton. Knights had a good scoring opportunity in the second, could not score. And that pitch has popped up, and it's going to be the first out of the third inning. And now here's Gabbard. So in some respects, the Knights have kind of dominated the first few innings, but even despite that, we are tied at 2. One out, nobody on, and Gabbard, the hitter. And she pops it up down the left field line. And it's going to be caught by the shortstop. Nice catch.
Yeah, it looked like she lost it there for a second. I thought it might drop, but nice recovery there. Good athletic play to make the adjustment.
Good play by Jackie Piers to make the catch. And now the Knights have 2 outs, nobody on. And Melanie Payton will be the hitter. And suddenly the Knights are looking at a potential 1-2-3 inning in their bottom of the third. And that ball ripped to the third baseman
geez.
for the third out. So the Knights are up and down in order in the third inning. We'll go to the top of the fourth. It is Maine Presque Isle 2 and Southern Virginia University 2. Ready to go in the top of the fourth inning, all even at 2. Maine Presque Isle getting a 2-run homer from Packard, their starting pitcher, in the top of the third to tie the game. Stapley's pitched well except for that one mistake. She's put base runners on base all 3 innings, Seth, but you take away that one mistake pitch, the home run over the center field wall, and she'd still had the lead at 2-0.
Yeah, like you said, it was just one mistake. I think the game plan is keeping the ball low in the strike zone, as we've seen. That one's a little high, but, she's produced a lot of ground balls, a couple right in front of the catcher, Terranova. So you don't really need to change much. Just keep getting those ground balls, and you should be sitting all right and let your offense pick you up in the next half inning.
That pitch is hit to third. Throw over, and one quick out there.
And it's so important as a pitcher in softball and baseball. As a pitcher, you got to learn to trust your defense. You don't have to do everything as the pitcher. Just make it a little difficult and let your defense pick you up behind. And for the most part, the Knights have done that today. There was the one throw by the shortstop that got away from her, but for the most part, it's been pretty routine and pretty sound.
Castellum making a play at third on that last batter, and there's a called strike. Stapley will try to get a 1-2-3 inning, just like Packard did in the bottom of the third. Took something off that pitch, and the batter was kind of fooled by the change in speeds. Nobody on base for Maine Presque Isle here in the top of the fourth inning. One out. That pitch wild high. Knights trying to win their 8th game of the season. They came in 7-13 overall. Swung on and missed. Terranova will have to make the throw down, which she does for the second out.
Nice low pitch there. Looked like it could catch the zone, but it kind of dropped out at the end there. That's what you want to see from Stapley. She looks like she might be settling in again. Good news for Coach Hall.
And if she can get the third out here, then it's just a matter of her teammates going to work in the bottom of the fourth inning, as Piers will be the hitter.
It looks like...
or make that, actually it's going to be Brianna Losey.
I was going to say, it looks like the coach for the Owls discussing with the umpire. I think she thought there was a foul tip there rather than a called third strike, but it looks like the umpire ruled that it was a drop third strike, making the out at first.
Now Stapley to pick up another strikeout. Now Losey with 2 outs, nobody on, and Stapley looking for a 1-2-3 inning here in the fourth. Called strike. Losey is a junior for Maine Presque Isle. She is the left fielder for the Owls. Drag bunt attempt. Another called strike.
Work in that outside corner. That was a perfect pitch right there. Definitely one that would have been tough to bunt. Stapley really settling in.
Stapley looking to get the 1-2-3 inning here in the top of the fourth inning. Ooh, that was close.
Nice frame job by Terranova. It looked like it was a little outside, but definitely made it tough on the umpire there.
Stapley would like to end the fourth with another strikeout. And that ball is pounded up the middle for a base hit. So all 4 innings now, Maine Presque Isle's been able to get people on base. Stapley's not been able to get that 1-2-3 inning, and so the Owls have a runner at first with 2 outs. And they'll go back to the top of the order now with Ariel Williams.
Going to have to be careful here. This is kind of has the feeling of that inning she gave up the home run with 2 outs, getting a base runner on. Williams is hitting 300 on the year, so real important to be careful, keep the ball down, and let your defense do the work like we talked about.
Yeah, Stapley has really come close. I'm not, at least in 3 of the 4, maybe all 4 innings, having 1-2-3 innings. She's had no problems with the early part of the inning, and that ball is hit to left field, and it's past the left fielder. That's going to maybe bring home a run. It will, as Rigby has to come from center field to make the throw, but at the Maine Presque Isle Owls have the lead as Peyton in left field made a diving attempt at that ball and just could not come up with it.
Yeah, off the crack of the bat, watching Peyton, she definitely looked like she was caught in between what she wanted to do. Wasn't sure if she should play it off the hop or try and make the highlight play. Unfortunately, just got under her glove, and the Owls are on the board again, take the lead.
Their first lead today as Lagasse will come to the plate. So Williams with a double. And Rigby had to come over from center field to get that ball back in.
Good hustle by Rigby. That easily could have been a triple for the batter, but she was able to keep it the double, and now Stapley's back to work.
And for the first time today, Stapley is behind, along with Southern Virginia in this game, 3-2. Knights had a 2-0 lead going into the top of the third, and now here in the top of the fourth, they trail 3-2, and that is a strikeout for the third out of the inning. We will go to the bottom of the fourth. The Owls have their first lead of the game. Maine Presque Isle on top here, 3-2. Welcome back to the fields at Southern Virginia University, Maine Presque Isle 3 and Southern Virginia University 2 as we go to the bottom of the fourth inning. I'm Jim Bresnahan, joined by Seth Hansen, and Rachel Moore will lead off the bottom of the fourth for the Knights, who trail for the first time in this game 3-2 now.
And Moore, she's only hitting 191 on the season. Now would be a great time to start to heat up a little bit and get on base.
Early on, Stapley was the pitcher that was dominating. And lately, Maine Presque Isle's offense has come alive. And Packard, she kind of struggled in her first few innings, and now she is starting to settle down as the pitcher for the Owls.
It's kind of interesting how the game's gone so far, because it's felt like the Knights have made some really good contact multiple times, a few times hitting it right to the outfielders. Whereas the Owls, they've really only had 2 really solid hits, but they lead here. 3-2.
And that pitch is popped up, and Packard making a diving attempt but could not make the catch. Great effort by the starting pitcher Packard for Maine Presque Isle, but Rachel reaches, and now Ayatanu will come to the plate. So the Knights have their leadoff runner on here in the bottom of the fourth, down by a run.
And isn't that how softball goes, it seems? Sometimes you just get so lucky, and you got to make most of these opportunities.
Ayatano struck out last time up. She was looking to make some contact here. If nothing else, even if she has an out, to try to advance the base runner, because that's the tying run at first base. A bunt. Ayatano with a good bunt. And the ball's dropped at first base, and over to third is Moore, and
Wow.
she is in there, first and third. Nobody out here in the bottom of the fourth for the Knights. And now Rigby will come to the plate. Good base running by Moore to go from second over to third. And nice bunt also by Ayatanu.
Yeah, I'm sure that caught the Owls off guard. Ayatanu, I'm sure not much of a bunt threat normally. Probably doesn't have the best speed on the team, but great play. She definitely hustled and made the throw difficult, which resulted in her being safe. Great play for the Knights.
Rigby shows bunt, doesn't attempt. Now Ayatanu sees a wide open second base and takes it.
Just a heads-up play there. Good work. Now you got 2 runners in scoring position, no outs, with a chance to really take the lead.
Looked like the Owls, maybe the shortstop, kind of fell asleep.
I guess so, yeah. That was a real heads-up play. She looked like she just jogged down there, too. Wasn't hustling all that hard.
You got to watch the base runner, and be ready to make the play. Catcher couldn't do anything because nobody was covering second base, so you're not going to make that throw. And a bunt, and is caught by the first baseman. Great diving attempt by the first baseman for Maine Presque Isle. Great play by Alexis Levesque coming in.
Yeah,
and diving a catch.
If she hadn't have caught that too, I'm sure Moore would have scored from third, so really kept him safe. But now it's even bigger that Ayatanu made it to second, because you take away that double play ball.
And that ball's hit to the outfield and in.
There we go.
Ayatana's going to stop at third? Yes, she's is.
Stop at
and
three.
That's going to allow the hitter to go on down to second. As we got a big hit there by Terranova. So Terranova puts that ball into short center field to tie the game at 3. And the Knights still have runners at second and third now, as Terranova, after the single, is able to go to second on the throw home.
Terranova coming up big, just what you need. You need these role players, these huge leaders on your team to make the play as she did right there.
Hilton pops that ball up left side, left field, and dropped. And is it foul territory or fair? It looks like it's going to be foul territory.
Yeah, there wasn't a clear ruling by the ump, but it clearly looked like it was foul territory.
Yep.
The left fielder there was right up against the fence.
So it's 3-3, second and third, 1 out. And Tara Hilton, the hitter, and she's got a great chance here to really give the Knights the lead back in a big way with maybe bringing home 2 runs if she can put the ball into the outfield.
Good eye there. You're really starting to feel that momentum shift. You can feel the energy from the Knight dugout right now. They're really hoping Tara comes through for them right here.
That bunt by Antanu, where Moore was able to go from first to third, a key play in this game. And Hilton drives that ball to left. It's deep. Left fielder will make the catch. Ayatanu is going to try to score, and she will.
Nice tag up there. Great heads-up play. That's good softball. Of course, you'd love to see Tara Hilton drive one into the gap, but that's playing small ball. You just need to do whatever it takes to get them home. The Knights retake the lead.
And over to third goes Terranova, so 2 outs. Runner at third. Knights are back on top here 4-3, and now Megan Harmon will try to help the Knights' cause a little further by trying to bring Terranova home with 2 outs.
And Harmon, that's who you want at the plate right now. I think she's seeing the ball well. Had a couple nice drives with the ball. A good opportunity to add to this lead right here.
And that ball's hit to the outfield.
Oh,
and
that's
going to go all the way to the wall.
All the way to the fence there.
And another run will score. Harmon will pull in at second base, and the Knights now own a 5-3 lead.
Right on cue. Megan Harmon making me look good with my statement there. She comes up big. The crack of the bat, I was going to take off. That ball was headed right for us, Jim. But
forward
yeah,
to catch it, right?
yeah, exactly. But nice hit there, nice stroke all the way to the fence. Makes it a 2-run lead.
Called protecting your partner.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, really, that ball was really starting to soar a little bit. If she had just gotten under a little bit more, that ball would have gone out.
Yeah, it would have held right into our laps right here, Jim. But You can't overstate it enough. Megan Harmon is such a big piece of this program. Obviously, their success this season, but going forward, she's a freshman getting all this experience. She's going to be a leader in the years to come. She already has kind of established herself as a leader, but Courtney Hall, Coach Hall, has a huge expectations and huge plans for Megan Harmon going forward as she lifts her team right there.
How about this 3-run inning by the Knights after they fell behind 3-2? In the top of the fourth, they come back with 3 to make it 5-3 in the bottom of the fourth.
Definitely, and should
not
give
over yet, too.
Definitely not over yet. Good opportunity to extend it even more, but Stapley's got to feel good as she can relax again as at whatever point she goes back out to take the ball, but looking for another big hit right here.
Yeah, Stapley can help her own cause by trying to bring home Megan Harmon with a hit. Maine Presque Isle coaches talking over with Packer, trying to settle her down. She looked like she had settled down, but Knights got to her here in the early part of this bottom of the fourth inning. And there goes Harmon over to third base. So now another wild pitcher pass ball, and she'll score.
The biggest factor of this game so far for the Knights especially, though, has been their base running. We've seen them steal a couple extra bases. We saw Aotanu take that second one with ease, and that resulted in a run that might have held this inning go different if she had stayed on first. So heads-up running can make all the difference as the Knights have a 2-run lead.
Yes, not the stolen bases. It's just really been taking the extra base whenever possible.
Yeah, smart decisions, too. Not high risk, just realizing the Owls haven't been on their toes paying attention the whole time.
Good eye by Stapley to take that pitch inside. And Gavert's on deck. I know there's 2 outs, but the Knights would like to add to this 5-3 lead. Packard had been cruising the last few innings. She gave up 2 in the first, settled down to shut out the Knights in the second and the third, but she's allowed 3 runs here in the fourth.
And that may be a result of, the more times you come through, the more times you see the pitcher. By your third time, which we're going through the third time of the order right now, you see the ball better. You're starting to see the pitcher's tendencies, and I imagine that's what's going on for the Knights right now is they're making the most of it.
Does bring up that interesting question we mentioned before we started this first game as to whether Packard might start game number 2.
Yeah, that would be a tall order, I would think. 2 games in a row, you might see the Owls finally pitch someone else.
There's a steal of second base. Easy steal for Stapley. And again, she saw the opportunity and took advantage of it. Much like Ayatano saw, nobody was guarding second base. And now a chance here for Gabbert to bring home 2 and give the Knights actually a 4-run lead.
And Courtney Hall, Coach Hall, she very experienced as a softball coach. I'm sure this was in their game plan. They must have saw something, having watched game film or whatever it might be, to know that you're going to be able to run on this team. And they've been active on the bases, and it's certainly paying off for them right now. Great coaching by Coach Hall.
That's a called strike to Gabbert. Yeah, it's not so much the catcher's arm, which we really haven't seen yet. It's really basically the shortstop and the second baseman for Maine Presque Isle. Just failure at times to cover second base. Pitch is popped up. Should be the third out of the inning. Caught by Maine Presque Isle, and that's it. But the Knights have a big bottom of the fourth inning. They score 3 times. We'll go to the top of the fifth. It is Southern Virginia on top here, 5-3. Knights have the lead back as we start the top of the 5th inning. Southern Virginia on top here, 5-3. Megan Stapley still looking for her first 1-2-3 inning as the Knights pitcher, hoping to get it right here in the top of the 5th.
And if she can get a 1-2-3 inning here, that would be the biggest, most important thing, I would think. Really crush the confidence of the Owls. You don't want to let them back into this game. You just want to take off and never look back.
Pitch it foul. Good chance to update other sports. Women's lacrosse will be in action tomorrow against Marymount at home. Men's lacrosse off until Saturday. They'll play Mary Washington Saturday at noon. Men's volleyball going for another win tonight at Bluefield, 7 o'clock tonight. If they can win, Seth, that'll be their 20th win of the season. Their first ever season of men's volleyball, and what an achievement that would be to have 20 wins.
Can't say enough about the men's volleyball team, not just their success on the court, obviously, but I know a lot of those guys that are on the team. I'm friends with them. Just good guys who look out for each other, really respectful to everyone around school. Just a huge addition to the athletics program here at Southern Virginia.
And the baseball road game at Frostburg was scheduled for Wednesday, canceled because there is some rain in the forecast in the region on Wednesday, so they'll try to play that on Thursday, which results in the Thursday home game against Eastern Mennonite temporarily postponed, and we'll see if that game gets rescheduled. So there's not going to be a 1-2-3 inning here in the 5th as the first hitter for Maine Presque Isle at the top of the 5th inning draws a walk. Stapley needs outs here. Seth doesn't want to give Maine Presque Isle a little opening of the door.
Double play ball would be huge. Look for something up the middle to either Gabbard or the second baseman there, be able to take advantage of that.
Then you got a new combination, though, at second and short with Moritz at second base and Gabbard at short. Chopped foul. Packard, the hitter, and she crushed a 2-run homer over the center field fence last time up. And she fouls that one away.
With 2 strikes here, look for Stapley to keep it down in the zone, hopefully get Packard to chase and swing at a bad pitch.
Packard got some words there from the third base coach. Stapley trying to get Packard here, trying to make her the first out of the 5th inning with a runner at first and nobody out. That ball ripped. Gabbard makes the play over to Moore and almost turned the double play. Great play by the Knights defense just to get the runner at second and almost get Packard first.
That was a really athletic play by Gabbard, too, able to corral the ball and have a little backhand flip to Moore. Huge because that runner there probably would have advanced to third if Gabbard hadn't been able to get that ball down. So big play there. 2 outs now. Looking forward to trying to get this third out.
I'm impressed with Gabbard. She's done pretty well at shortstop. Hasn't had a lot of experience there in her career at Southern Virginia at shortstop, mainly the first baseman. But she's doing a good job, and Moore at second base doing a pretty good job too.
Yeah, Coach Hall may have found the right combination, the right recipe there for the middle infielders.
So there's 1 out and a runner at first. Stapley trying to get the hitter here. The 2-run lead in the top of the 5th inning. That ball shot into right field. Hilton grabs it. Quickly gets it back in. Took a shot at first base just in case. As Packard stopped at second, so Maine Presque Isle has first and second and 1 out.
Hilton definitely has the arm strength, too, out in right field. We've seen her throw runners out at home before. Really impressive. Thought she might have a chance there at first, but just barely was safe, the runner was.
And now Ayanna Walker is the hitter with 2 on and 1 out. Terranova's got to be careful here, just in case Maine Presque Isle, down by 2, tries to steal, maybe even do a double steal. That ball stroked foul. Maine Presque Isle hasn't made it easy for Stapley. She's allowed base runners in every inning. And she really cannot afford a walk here. Really needs to make Walker the second out of the inning if she can. Good swinging strike there.
Great pitch right there by Stapley. Exactly what you're looking for in that situation. Whatever she did is she took a little off there. It looked like it was going to hit the bottom of the zone and just kind of dropped off the table. Getting that strikeout. Huge second out for Stapley.
And now Strout, the catcher, will come to the plate with 2 on and 2 out here in the 5th inning. And that ball's hit to first. Ayatano makes the pickup, and that is the 3rd out of the inning. So the Knights are 6 outs away from a victory. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th with Southern Virginia University on top here 5-3. Knights ready to go here in the bottom of the 5th inning with Southern Virginia on top 5-3. And after Stapley was able to get out of the top of the 5th without allowing any runs, I'm sure she would love to see Seth, her teammates, go to work and maybe get 2 or 3 more runs to hopefully put this game away here in the bottom of the 5th inning if possible.
That was a huge inning by Stapley to be able to get out of there without any runs, getting up on the board, to keep it at a 2-run lead. It could have got away from her, but she showed really good composure and focus and dialed it in to get those 3 outs.
Peyton grounds to third, and she is the first out of the inning. So Peyton is gone, and now Rachel Moore will come to the plate with Ayatano on deck. Moore and Ayatano got the rally started in the 4th inning when the Knights were able to cash in with 3 runs. Moore got a hit, and then Ayatano bunted her over, and both runners were able to reach. And it really set up that inning as Moore pops it up, and it's going to be out number 2 of the 5th. And so now Ayatano will come to the plate with the Knights at risk here of having a 1-2-3 inning offensively. So Packer trying to get her second 1-2-3 inning, and Ayatano hits that up the middle for a base hit. So Ayatano is on again. And now the Knights will try to have a 2-out rally here with Rigby the hitter.
Good stroke there for Losi. Just watched the ball in, didn't try to do too much with it, and just squared it up right back up the middle to keep this this inning alive for him.
Ayatano is going to go to second base again. Nobody covering.
I wonder if it's not so much just not paying attention, or if the Owls just don't trust their catcher's arm. They don't want to risk a bad throw and even more bases stolen. I'm not sure. It's really interesting. I've never really seen that before, but the Knights, whatever, were definitely aware of it going into this game and have made the most of it.
Let's see if Rigby can maybe put one in the gap to bring Ayatano home with the 6th run for the Knights. Fouled away. Not sure Losi thought maybe before the game she'd get a couple stolen bases today.
Yeah, that's huge heads-up play, though. This is last time she did that. She was able to score, help them give the lead. See if it does the same thing here.
Rigby looking for a big hit with Terranova, the catcher, on deck. A bunt, and it's going to be hit foul, hit the bat, and it's ruled out. So that's going to be the 3rd out of the inning, and we go to the top of the 6th inning. Knights still on top here. Your score, Southern Virginia leading at 5-3. Jim Resnick had Seth Hansen back ready to go. Top of the 6th inning with the Knights leading here, 5-3. Knights just 6 outs away from victory if they can hold on to this 2-run lead.
This would be huge for Stapley. Obviously, anytime you can get 1, 2, 3 innings would be great. Now would be a perfect time for it.
Ayatano makes the pickup, and she'll go to first base herself.
Good hustle play by Ayatano there. But just saying, if Stapley can keep this up, keep pitching this way, that's huge going, especially in a doubleheader, as we've seen. Harmon has probably been the stronger pitcher this year, though nothing against Stapley. She's definitely pitched well through the year. But you got to feel good. You get this win here, and then throwing Harmon out on the mound has got to be a huge confidence boost for him.
That ball ripped to second. Moore over to first, and another chance at a 1-2-3 inning here from Megan Stapley if she can get the next hitter.
Just trusting her defense. That's exactly what you want to see there.
Stapley came in with 2 wins on this season, or with an ERA about 7.7. Harmon came in with an ERA of 4.15, and she's got 5 wins on the season. Stapley's trying to pick up her 3rd win of the year, and she's trying to pick up her first 1-2-3 inning of this game. And if she can get this hitter, the Knights will then be 3 outs away from victory with a chance in the bottom of the 6th to add to a 5-3 lead. That ball popped to left. Payton is there, and that's the 3rd out of the inning. So a 1-2-3 inning for the Knights defensively, and they will take a 5-3 lead into the bottom of the 6th inning. Knights ready to go here, bottom of the 6th inning. Southern Virginia just 3 outs away from a victory here at a non-conference doubleheader today against Maine Presque Isle. Knights lead 5-3 as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning with Heather Terranova, the hitter, and Tara Hilton on deck.
And Coach Hall, I imagine her message in between those half innings right there is, let's put a few more runs on the board. Let's get a little more breathing room. Oh, geez.
Terranova rips that ball to 3rd, but it's quickly 1 out. And now Tara Hilton will come to the plate. Megan Harmon on deck.
As I was saying, just good squared up by Terranova there. Unfortunately, hit it right to the 3rd baseman, but you'd love to see a run or two here, give Stapley even more room as she goes into that critical final 7th inning.
And that pitch has popped up, and Hilton will make the 2nd out of the inning. I agree, 3 or even a 4-run lead, much better than 2. And suddenly 2 outs for the Knights. Megan Harmon will try to get something started, but if the Knights are going to have a rally here in the bottom of the 6th and get some more runs, they're going to have to do it with 2 outs.
Megan Harmon's the one to do it, though. We saw she had that nice hit to the fence last time up.
And she drops the ball to second base. And that's going to be a quick 1-2-3 inning for the Knights. So we'll go to the top of the 7th. The Knights 3 outs away from win, and we'll see if Megan Stapley can do it. Going to the top of the 7th inning, Knights 5 and Maine Presque Isle 3. Jim Bresnahan, Seth Hansen back here with you as the Knights are 3 outs away from getting their 8th win of the season. Megan Stapley trying to take the Knights home here on the top of the 7th inning, trying to pick up her 3rd win of the year. That ball's hit down to 3rd. Gastelum over to 1st. Quickly 1 out against Maine Presque Isle here in the top of the 7th inning. The Knights now 2 outs away from getting their 8th win of the season.
You love to see that if you're Coach Hall. 1 pitch, 1 out, especially with this heart of the order coming up. That was the second batter, so now we're coming up on the third. Power hitter usually in that 3-hole. See if Stapley can keep it going with those quick outs.
That pitch is hit down to short, and Gabbert's going to have to hold on to that one. Throws over to first, but no way to get the runner as Emma Gogan able to get over to first. So the tying run comes to the plate here for Maine Presque Isle.
And hit a little too deep into the hole for Gabbert there. Nice save to keep it from going into the outfield, stopping the runner from getting to second, but too deep in that hole to make a play at first.
This is Packard who hit the 2-run homer, and she puts that ball out of play down the right field line. So if you can get Packard, who hit a 2-run homer against you a few innings ago, to straightaway center field, Stapley's going to have to feel pretty good, even though she would still have 1 out to go, provided, of course, the Knights don't turn a double play ball here to end the game.
Yeah, I think best case scenario here is a ground ball up the middle to Gabbert or to Moore, and being able to turn 2.
Looks like they may have a pinch runner here at first. Maybe get a little quicker runner out there for Maine Presque Isle, trying to, if nothing else, stay out of the double play.
Yeah, and you might see a steal on right here. That's what I would be thinking if I'm the Knights. Got to be ready for that. Don't give up anything easy.
Looks like that's Esmeralda Galvin, a freshman, in there to run at first base with Packard, the starting pitcher, and the cleanup hitter who had a 2-run homer is the hitter right now with 1 on, 1 out here in the 7th inning. Knights trying to go to 8-13 of the season. Stapley's trying to pick up, on a personal basis, her 3rd win of the year. Call strike.
Ooh, and you saw Packard there. She almost turned on that one. Felt it was a little inside, but caught the strike zone there. Good pitch by Stapley.
Here's the shortstop on deck. 2 strikes. Hit the left field. Peyton can't get there in time. Keeps the ball in front of her, so it's 1st and 2nd with 1 out.
Good work by Peyton to keep it in front of her. She probably learned this time around versus that play she had earlier in the game. Decided to play it off the hop and just keep the runner at second. Stapley, though, running into a little bit of trouble here. See if she can settle down and get some outs.
2 outs away from a win, but then again, the go-ahead run is at the plate now, and the hitter. Called strike on Piers.
Good pitch there, and she seems to stay out of trouble when she can hit that outside corner. There's just not much for the hitter to do with the ball. It's when she's thrown it inside that she starts to get in trouble, and the ball starts to fly around the yard a little bit.
Hit down the left field line, and foul, luckily for the Knights. If that is fair, well, I'll tell you, Maine Presque Isle might have a good chance of tying the game.
Yeah, I imagine they would have been very aggressive on the bases there. Packard's a good athlete. You probably would have saw her trying to make a play for home.
Stapley trying to nail down the victory here in the 7th inning. Ahead 5-3 with runners at 1st and 2nd, and she sails that one in high. I don't believe the Knights have had a save this year. I guess that's another option, bring in Megan Harmon to close it out. But Stapley's trying to nail down her 3rd win of the year if she can get 2 more outs. Swung on and missed. Big out there.
Huge. Great pitch by Stapley there. It was a little up in the zone, but switching levels, it was a tough read for the batter there. Couldn't put the ball in play. Great work by Stapley. Now she just needs to finish the job.
And it's the freshman Ayanna Walker, who I don't believe Stapley's had a problem with today. And see if Walker can come up with a big hit or Stapley can come up with the 3rd out of the inning and nail down this victory.
Yeah, Walker has 2 strikeouts today. She looks, from here, in my opinion, looks like she's swinging for the fences every time she's up, which can be a good and bad thing. Stapley needs to be careful, but she does have the confidence going in against her.
And with that kind of confidence, the one thing you don't want to do right here is allow a walk. That would load the bases with 2 outs. Stapley trying to get this 3rd out.
Good pitch there. Nothing you can really do except for foul it off. She just needs to relax and focus in. She's done it time and time again. Now in this critical point, she just needs to keep her nerves down and make a big play for the Knights on the mound.
Rip foul. Anna Walker hit that one right on the button, but hit it foul down the left field line.
And you see the power from Walker. Clearly she can square it up and give it a ride. She hasn't yet today. Stapley's gotten the best of her, looking to do that again right now.
2 strikes, 2 outs. Just missed outside. Ooh. Stapley would love to end this game with a strikeout if she can. Trying to pick up her 3rd win of the year. And it's grounded foul.
You see the big swing there by Walker. I'm sure she's got images in her head of taking the lead with one swing. Stapley just needs to keep it low in the zone. Don't give her anything clear to hit. But she does have to hit the zone. Like you mentioned, we don't want to see a walk in this situation.
And that ball's hit into right field for a base hit. Galvin's coming home, and she is almost dropped by Terranova. Otherwise, she might have been out. She scores to make it 5-4, and now Maine Presque Isle has the tying run at 3rd and the go-ahead run at 2nd.
That's a huge blow for the Knights. The ball thrown in by Tara Hilton, we mentioned. She definitely has the arm strength in right field. The ball beat the runner there to the plate. Unfortunately, Terranova just couldn't keep it in her glove, making it a 1-run game with 2 outs now. Did you see the pinch runner in for Walker there at 2nd? So they're really looking to try and take the lead here.
LaFleur coming out. She's the go-ahead run if Maine Presque Isle can get her home. And Delaney Strout is the hitter. She's a catcher. 2nd and 3rd, and 2 outs here in the 7th inning.
And Strout, she comes to the plate. She's not one of the better hitters on the team right now, not having the best season. She's hitting .250, which isn't, too shabby, but they do have a few hitters above 300. So Stapley just needs to do her thing. She's got to feel confident going into this one. Can't worry about that last run, because if you get this out here, that run doesn't matter.
Can't have a wild pitch or a pass ball either. That would maybe potentially tie the game if the runner from 3rd can get down there in time to home plate. So Stapley has to be concerned about that. Just has to focus on getting this 3rd out. Hop foul, and Ayatano not going to be able to grab it. It's on top of the dugout.
I can't imagine what Stapley's feeling right now, to be honest. I can't say I've ever been in her position. I just know that pitching is a real mind game. It's just you and the catcher out there, and you got to work with yourself and make sure you stay locked in.
Well, she's got a strike. And that ball's hit to the outfield, and it's going to be...
Oh, my goodness! Oh,
what a catch! Whoa. Rigby making the grab.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Did she drop the ball or catch it? Looks like she caught it.
Oh, and they're calling her out.
Yep. What a catch by Madison Rigby in center field. And the coach for Maine Presque Isle is arguing that the ball was dropped. It looked like she caught it. She rolled. I didn't see the ball come loose.
Jim, from where I was sitting here, I actually stood up and was watching. It looked like she caught it. She rolled over, and then at some point in the rollover, the ball popped loose. I'm not sure what the official rule is in softball.
They're going to say that she had it long enough to be a catch.
Apparently, either that or they didn't see it. It's critical in baseball. You have to see it. You have to see the play be made or the ball be dropped. So if the umpires didn't see it roll out after, there's not much they can do to overrule it. So good effort by Rigby there. It went their way, that call. That's how it goes sometimes. Sometimes you just need the umps to rule in your favor on those questionable calls.
It almost looked like for a while she wasn't even going to get a glove on it.
No.
So to reach the ball was something else, and then to hang on to it, obviously, for the victory, because if she doesn't reach that ball or doesn't hang on to it, that ball goes to the fence. 2 runs are going to score. Maine's going to have the 6-5 lead, and who knows, it could be an inside the park homer for a 7-5 lead.
Yeah, that was huge by Rigby. We've mentioned her athleticism, the ability to go from second base to center field. I agree. I thought the ball was going to the fence there off the crack of the bat, but Rigby surprised us both and was able to make a play on it, really sealing the deal for her team. Lucky break for the Knights.
So a big win here in the first game of our doubleheader today for the Southern Virginia University Knights. They hang on and defeat Maine Presque Isle. Final score again in game one. Southern Virginia 5 and Maine Presque Isle 4. We'll have the second game for you coming up in about 30 minutes. But congratulations to the Knights on winning the first game of our doubleheader today. 5-4, the Knights win it. Welcome back, everyone, to Southern Virginia University for Knights softball. Jim Bresnahan, Seth Hansen, ready to bring you the second game of our doubleheader today between Maine Presque Isle and Southern Virginia University. The Knights won the first game 5-4, holding on for dear life. Seth, in the top of the seventh inning, it took a catch by Madison Rigby. Maybe she almost dropped it, but she was, according to the umpires, able to make that last catch to record the third out at the top of the seventh inning and allowing the Knights to hang on for a one-run win in the first game. And we are underway here in Game 2 with Megan Harmon getting the start here in Game 2 for the Knights.
And as you mentioned, it was kind of a controversial call to end the game. A huge one, a huge break that went the Knights' way. It definitely would have scored the tying run and possibly the go-ahead run if she hadn't been ruled as a catch, as you see the single there by Ariel Williams. But it went the Knights' way, got them the W, which was huge, and they're looking to bring that momentum into this game.
And it looks like we mentioned Megan Harmon is the starting pitcher, tearing over the catcher. Ayatanu is the first baseman. Michaela Johnson will get the start in Game 2 at second base. Gabbard remains at shortstop, as that it's a bunt. Terranova off the catcher's behind the plate and makes the throw over to first for the first out. So one gone for Maine Presque Isle here in the first inning with a runner now at second base. Same outfield, by the way. Rigby's in center, Payton is in left, and Hilton is the right fielder. And Megan Harmon, who has 5 wins this year, came in with an ERA at 4.15, has one out here in the top of the first inning, and also has a runner at second base for Maine Presque Isle.
I imagine you'll see Maine Presque Isle play a little more small ball like you saw right there, the bunt to second rather than just having their players swing away.
And a steal third, no one there to cover. Luckily, Payton is there to back up the play. And that allows the runner to stay at third base, but everybody looking maybe for a bunt and the steal and obviously the throw down and no one there to cover third base.
And I like I was saying, I imagine that'll be the story of the game for the Owls just because of how much success Megan Harmon has had. You're probably not going to have as many hits as you might have thought you got against Stapley, so look for them to be active on the bases, a lot of bunt situations to try and put up runs against the Knights.
And maybe they also saw, Seth, how successful the Knights were in that first game, not necessarily stealing bases as just taking extra bases.
Yeah, that's something to watch when you see the Knights at the plate. So many easy just walk-ins to second. We saw Ayatonu do that a few times, just walking to second pretty much because no one was covering. So interesting to see if the Owls make that adjustment. Is the pop fly here to Gabbard at shortstop. Great play, routine.
Great play for Megan Harmon with a runner at third and only one out to get her to pop up on the infield like that and keep the Knights or keep the scoreboard blank here, at least so far here in this top of the first inning for Maine Presque Isle. So one more out to get for Megan Harmon. And that would be a real achievement with a runner at third and one out to make sure the Owls don't score. Knights won the first game 5-4 to improve to 8-13 on the season. Maine Presque Isle dropped to 4-3 on the season, so the Knights are hoping to get a doubleheader sweep today to improve to 9-13 on the season. Maybe try to start a new winning streak of 2 heading into Wesley, another doubleheader in conference action coming up on Friday.
Yeah, this is kind of a last fine tune-up before entering conference play, the majority of their conference play. Would be nice to sweep this doubleheader and bring that momentum with them.
They've already played one doubleheader in conference against Penn State Harrisburg last Saturday, losing that doubleheader. And counting the Wesley doubleheader, the Knights are going to have 6 straight conference doubleheaders in a row. 4 on the road, and the last 2 will be at home. Ripped down the right field line foul. So Megan Harmon needs one more strike here. Try to record the third out of the first inning. Packard, who started the first game, starting pitcher for Maine Presque Isle, she'll start the second game, so that'll be her 8th start in the 8th Maine Presque Isle game. And a strikeout for Megan Harmon as we'll go to the bottom of the first. It's all scoreless, and the Knights are coming up to the plate here in the bottom of the first inning. Jim Bresnahan and Seth Hansen ready to go. Bottom of the first inning with Tara Hilton leading off for the Knights. Again, facing the Game 1 pitcher, Sarah Packard. Packard losing the first game 5-4, and this is the 8th game of the year for Maine Presque Isle, and Packard has started all 8 games. Hilton down the left field line. Let's see if she can get 2 bases out of this. Nope, they're going to say foul ball. Oh, with Hilton's speed at that at State Fair, she might have got 3 bases.
Yep. You mentioned Packard, 8th game she's pitched. Obviously the second one today here in the doubleheader. Even though it is easier on your arm, you got to imagine that it's a little exhausting doing this pitch after pitch, especially for the second straight game.
That and the fact the Knights obviously got a good look at her in Game 1.
Yeah, I mean, it's only going to get better for them. The more at-bats you see against a pitcher, usually the better you hit them. So interesting to see with this second game here.
Hilton fouls it off. Yeah, it'll be interesting after scoring 5, and they could have scored more against Packard in the first game. We'll see if they increase their offensive output here in Game 2, or Packard could find a way to maybe change some things and try to shut down the Knights' offense here in the second game of the doubleheader. Hilton fouls it back. Hilton came into the doubleheader today, one of the leading hitters on the Knights, hitting .362.
And she's definitely a threat when she gets on the bases. That's why she's hitting in that leadoff spot. Didn't have as much of an impact in the last game, but hoping to get on base right here.
Another foul ball, and it'll get out of play down the right field line. Hilton battling Packard here, first hitter for the Knights in the first inning. Hilton swings and misses for strike 3.
Yeah, it looked like Packard might have taken a little off there. Tara was looking for the heater, but you kind of saw her clutch in her swing. She must have realized at the last moment that it wasn't getting there as fast. Ended up being a good pitch for Packard and 1 out for the Knights.
Now Megan Harmon, the lefty, will step to the plate. She'll try to get something started, but immediately takes a called strike. That one's up. So 1-1 to count on Megan Harmon. Harmon fouls it back. And again, here in the second game of the doubleheader, the Knights bench making a lot of noise in the dugout.
Yeah, they look like they're feeling pretty good after the win in the first part of the doubleheader. Trying to bring the noise, getting Packard's head.
Harmon's got 2 strikes on her. Harmon trying to get something started here for the Knights in their first at-bat here in the first inning, and Harmon fouls that one out. A play. Still 2 strikes on Megan with 1 out and nobody gone here. 1 out, nobody on for the Knights here in the first inning. Another foul back.
Pretty good at bat here by Harmon, able to foul it off, stay alive, make Packard really work for this out if that's what she's going to get here. Megan just looking to drive one into the gap like she did last game.
Up the middle, base hit. So Harmon earned that single.
And consistency is the name of the game in softball. The best players, the best teams, they have that consistency. So while Harmon might not be putting the ball over the wall, she consistently drives the ball when she makes contact and has been finding some space out in the outfield lately. Really good, keeps this alive and has the Knights in good position.
1 on and 1 out. We'll see if the Knights are aggressive on the base paths here in game number 2.
Yeah, if you're watching at home, take a look at the Owl defense, that second baseman and that shortstop, see how they play and try to keep Megan up from stealing second.
Foul back. But what we saw in the first game, and they were no throwdowns, and the second baseman and the shortstop were so far off the base they never recovered. You would think the Knights would try to steal second base whenever they could.
Yeah, you have to imagine in between games there, that was something they focused on, the Owls, I mean, and their coach was stressing to be in the right spot so that they don't take easy bases. Because it was just too easy for the Knights in that last game, which gave them a couple extra runs, and it being a one-run game, that really could have cost them the game in the end.
Harmon right now at first base with 1 out for the Knights in the bottom of the first inning. Knights trying to get a doubleheader sweep. Swung on and missed. Strikeout. Harmon back to first base safely. So here's Stapley now with 2 outs as Michaela Johnson goes down on strikes. And Packard has a couple of strikeouts now here in the bottom of the first.
That was a big strikeout for Packard. Michaela Johnson, she's been one of the better hitters for the Knights this year. Was really looking to drive something there, but Packard came up big with that strikeout.
And now Stapley. Stapley, of course, has some homers this year. She's got 2 to be exact, and she'd love to launch one here to maybe give Megan Harmon a 2-0 lead at the end of 1. She bunts, and it's foul. Bunting for a base hit, I would imagine, with 2 outs.
Yeah, that's an interesting decision right there, but must feel like she has a chance to beat out that throw if she can get it down the third baseline.
Kind of looks like the shortstop, Lagasse, is maybe doing a little bit better in game 2 than the shortstop, I think, was Piers in game 1. Piers is the second baseman here in game 2. Swung on and missed. But it looks like the shortstop in game 2 here for Maine Presque Isle is doing a better job of getting over and trying to cover second.
Yeah, and that could be the reason for the switch. Trying to hold Megan on right there.
Grounded foul. Stapley trying to get a big hit with Gabbert on deck. Knights got 2 runs in the first inning in game 2. They're trying to, or game 1, they're trying to get some runs here in the first inning in game 2. It looked like Packard took a little something off that pitch, but Stapley did not offer at it.
Kind of an interesting defensive setup the Owls have right now. If you look at the left field, they're playing so deep back by the warning track. Even a small blooper would probably land fair.
And that ball's hit to the outfield and deep. And the left fielder had her perfectly played and makes the catch for the 3rd out. So neither team scores in the first inning. And we'll go to the top of the second. Southern Virginia nothing and Maine Presque Isle nothing. Well, neither team scored, Seth, in the first inning, so all scoreless as we start inning number 2. Megan Harmon, the starting pitcher here in game 2 for the Knights. She is trying to pick up her 6th win of the year.
In that last half inning, you saw Stapley drive it deep to left. Right as I mentioned, the left fielder was playing so deep, but apparently they knew something I didn't and was in the perfect position to make that catch.
Maine Presque Isle 4-3 on the season now. Knights are 8-13 on the season. All 8 wins, non-conference wins. And the Knights after today will be playing 6 straight conference doubleheaders before they finish off the season with doubleheaders non-conference against Bridgewater and Christendom. Called strike for Megan Harmon there. Nice play by Ayatano, and she makes the play herself at first base. She's done very well today defensively at first base.
Yeah, she's definitely a staple there. Any routine ground ball, you can count on her to make it. Big play for the Knights there. Good by Megan Harmon. She was in a 3-0 count. Wasn't looking good, but she fought her way back to force that ground ball.
So one gone here for Maine Presque Isle, top of the second inning. We'll try if we can possibly, Seth, maybe get some score updates. Volleyball tonight at Bluefield. Only action, I would think, for any Southern Virginia team in action tonight is men's volleyball at Bluefield. If they win, they're going to pick up their 20th of the season. Of course, men's lacrosse not in action until Saturday against Mary Washington. Women's lacrosse will be in action Wednesday, I believe 5 o'clock against Marymount. And baseball was scheduled to play at Frostburg tomorrow, but that has been postponed and moved over to Thursday. So Knights baseball will be on the road Thursday at Frostburg. And, you know, Seth, after the baseball team beat Wesley in that home doubleheader about 10 days ago, they really were looking good for trying to make the top 6 in the Capital Conference when it comes to the postseason tournament. Now the Knights have lost a few, and they're going to need to start picking up some conference wins.
Yeah, that first game of the doubleheader on Saturday was a real blow. They had the lead going into the 9th. I believe it was 3-1, and I guess it just got away from them. Ended up losing 4-3. Excuse me. And
yeah, they stuck with Seth Burris, who is pitching very well of late, but he tried to close it out. And as you mentioned, Salisbury came up with 3 in the 9th to win it 4-3, and then Salisbury really dominated the second game of that doubleheader.
You talk about in softball and baseball, there's no clock. There's no way you can just run it out till the end of the game. You have to get all those outs in every inning, and just couldn't handle it. And for the Knights on Saturday, came up short.
Harmon gets the strikeout, so there are 2 outs here for Maine Presque Isle in the top of the second inning, and Megan Harmon will try to go for a 1-2-3 inning. Kind of floated that one up there, ball 1. And that one's fouled away. Bit of an adjustment for Megan Harmon, who at Perry McClure was mostly a first baseman, didn't really pitch a whole lot, and obviously you could argue she's the #1 pitcher here at Southern Virginia University, as the #1 starting pitcher.
Yeah, and just a testament of what kind of athlete she is. Coach Hall brought her in and saw her potential here because, you know, pitching is everything in softball, and saw the potential Megan has, and she's really put together a nice season for her freshman year.
She really had problems in the first few games, I believe, of the season with control, but she seems to have really worked on that and settled down since the opening really days back in February.
Ooh.
That one just missed. Looked like it was a good pitch.
Yeah, that looked pretty good from here, right on the corner, but the ump felt it was a little low. That's got to be a little frustrating for Harmon out there, but trying to replicate it here.
Swung on and missed. Harmon blew that one right past her. Megan Harmon trying for a 1-2-3 inning. I think the first game pitcher, Stapley, only had one 1-2-3 inning, and we won't get it here as Maine Presque Isle gets a 2-out single. So a 2-out single by Strout. And so Maine Presque Isle has a runner at first now with 2 outs here in the top of the second inning. Swinging strike as Megan blew it right past her.
Yeah, anytime you can find that outside corner right there, that's where you want to live if you're pitching right now for Megan Harmon. Great pitch. Need to see more of that going forward.
Strike 2. So Megan an out away, a strike away from ending the second inning for Maine Presque Isle. Up high with that pitch. Swung on and missed, and that's the third out of the inning. We'll go to the bottom of the second. Still scoreless here from Southern Virginia University. Harvey Dryden Field, Jim Bresnahan, Seth Hansen with you here, bringing you Knights softball tonight. Knights won the first game of this doubleheader 5-4, and right now we're in the bottom of the second, all scoreless between Southern Virginia University and Maine Presque Isle. Knights going to work here in the bottom of the second, trying to get some runs, trying to give Megan Harmon the lead here in the bottom of the second inning. Stroke to shortstop, and that's going to be misplayed by the first baseman. And so Gabbard has reached. It was a good throw from the shortstop over to first base, but just not able to be handled by the first baseman, Levesque. And that will give the Knights a base runner on the error by the Owls.
Yeah, you can't have that. That's got to be a routine play there for number 16. But lucky bounce for the Knights as you see the pinch runner comes in for Molly Gabbard. That's Katie Rose, number 6.
Katie Rose Helms, yep.
Yep, going to put a little speed on the bases here.
Now we'll see if the Knights go for a big inning and try to get a hit here, Seth, or if they play small ball, maybe have a bunt, or perhaps even have Helms try to steal. Helms has good speed. Been a reserve player this year. Last year she was mainly the right fielder for the Knights. And they go bunt. Good bunt by the Knights to advance the base runner from first to second. Good effort there by Payton to move the runner over to second base. So Helms is at second with one out. And it'll be Ayatanu, who had a big first game, not just defensively, but making some big plays at the bat and on the base paths.
Yeah, and Ayatanu here, she's just got to be looking to drive a pitch here. Doesn't have to be over the fence necessarily, but anything in one of the gaps would be huge and definitely score that run with Katie Rose Helms' speed at second base.
I guess is Maine Presque Isle just talking over the Knights rotation now with the substitution with Helms out there as a pinch runner.
Pretty nice night out here tonight, Jim. Not too windy. As long as the wind stays down, it might not be too bad. Nice sunset going on.
Not quite like it was on Saturday, March the 11th, when we had the Wilson doubleheader.
Yeah, that was a trying game. Couple of games, I'm not going to lie, mentally and physically for us up here, but still some good softball action. It was fun to watch. But you're right, definitely as we move closer to April here, it's the weather's warming up, makes our job a lot more fun.
And we'll have some softball games coming up for you in April. I believe we got the Bridgewater game on the 18th, and Christendom, one of the games of those doubleheaders on the 19th. And that'll actually be it for the regular season. April the 19th is the cutoff, the last day on the regular season schedule for the Knights. So we're ready to go. Helms is at second. There's one out for the Knights here in the second inning, and Ayatanu is the hitter, trying to deliver a single, which would bring Helms in from second base. Packard with one out. Bunt is shown. Helms goes down to third. Good steal.
Yeah, an easy steal there with the catcher dropping the ball, though even if she'd caught it cleanly, I don't know if she would have had the arm strength to throw Katie Rose out at the third base again. That's why they bring her in. She's got that speed.
And Ayatano was showing bunt there. We'll see if she bunts again or tries to swing away here. Bunts. And bunts foul. That's one of those deals, too, Seth, there. Even if that is fair, you're almost bunting for a base hit because it's going to be tough for Helms to come down from third base when the ball is right on the third base line like that.
Yeah, usually when you're trying that suicide squeeze, you usually want to bunt it down the first base line.
Swung on and missed. That was a big out there for Packard getting the strikeout. So 2 outs with a runner at third. And Rigby, one of the heroes for the Knights, in game one, has a chance to maybe be a hero here early in game two. Going to need a single, provided we don't have a pass ball or a wild pitch to bring home Helms out of third base. Stroked, foul down the left field line.
You see Rigby not trying to do too much. She's just trying to slap at it and find a gap somewhere, a hole in the infield, which is really all you need at this point with Katie Rose on third.
What are the odds of Madison maybe laying down a bunt for a base hit?
She had one in the last game, so I wouldn't put it past her at this point.
And there is a wild pitch. Helms going to try to score, and she does.
Oh, no throw by the catcher. It looked like Helms got a late start there. Wasn't sure where the ball was bouncing, but not even a throw attempt by the catcher.
I was definitely expecting a play at the plate.
Yeah, it looked like she was there in time. Maybe she just didn't see the pitcher covering in time, but either way, heads-up play. Good play by Helms there at third, and now Rigby expect her to swing away.
So the Knights draw first blood here in game two. After winning the first game 5-4, they have taken a 1-0 lead here in game number two. Swinging bunt attempt, swinging strike by Rigby, so she's got 2 on her now.
Yeah, Rigby kind of applying that walk-in swing there. She's kind of taking a step into that swing. You see it a little bit even in the major leagues, though. It's not a bad tactic if you can square up the ball.
And she swings and misses for strike 3. But the Knights get a run, and we'll go to the top of the third inning. Southern Virginia University on top here, 1-0. Welcome back to Southern Virginia University. Jim Bresnahan, Seth Hansen ready to bring you the third inning here from Harvey Dryden Field with the Knights leading the Maine Presque Isle Owls 1-0 as the Knights got a run in the bottom of the second. Megan Harmon ready to go to work here for the Knights defensively as the starting pitcher here in Game 2 in the top of the third inning. And she gets a called strike on her first pitch of the third inning. Harmon came in with an ERA of 4.15, and that ball's hit deep, left field. Peyton there makes the catch for the first out. Peyton, the left fielder, perfectly positioned on that one. So there's one out here for the Maine Presque Isle Owls here in inning number 3. Nobody on base. Called strike.
Now, like you said, nice routine play for Peyton out there. Not necessarily what you want to see out of your pitcher. Though she got the out, you don't want to see the ball flying through the yard like that. Just needs to keep the ball down a little bit for Harmon, but good work to get the out, and she can just build off of that.
And now 2 strikes on the hitter after the foul back. Megan Stapley won the first game for the Knights, her third win of the year. She did give up a 2-run homer to Packard, the opposing pitcher. The Knights actually trailed at one point in game 1, 3-2, but came back for a 5-4 victory by scoring 3 runs after they had given up the lead. Knights that took the lead 2-0. Maine Presque Isle came back for a 3-2 lead. The Knights led 5-3 and held on 5-4. Swung on and missed. And now Megan Harmon here in the third inning, again trying to get a 1-2-3 inning.
Harmon starting to feel it settle into that groove. Took a little bit off that pitch, it looked like. But she's hitting her spots nicely, even though she had kind of had that loud first out that was hit pretty deep. Hasn't swayed her at all, and she's pitching nicely right now.
Called strike there. Long way to go, obviously, just the third inning, but if she could keep going like this and maybe register a shutout today, that would really lower her ERA, which is already down to 4.15 starting today. That's 2 strikes now on the hitter. Harmon looking for a 1-2-3 inning, and she gets it with the strikeout. Perfect inning for Megan Harmon. We'll go to the bottom of the third. Knights lead here 1-0. Heather Terranova will lead off for the Knights here in the bottom of the third inning. The Knights leading 1-0. They got a run in the second. And Megan Harmon's cruised through the first 3 innings, pitching-wise with a shutout. So Terranova will lead things off here in the bottom of the third, facing Packard, and she immediately takes a called strike. The Knights trying to give Megan Harmon, their starting pitcher here, Seth, in game 2, a little bit more support. They've only given her a run so far in 2 innings, hoping for a big 3rd inning. And Terranova drives that right.
Geez.
Packard flips it over to first base. Great play by the Maine Presque Isle pitcher.
And that play might have been more self-defense than anything, trying to protect her from that ball that was struck really well by Terranova. Unfortunately, couldn't find a hole in the infield and went right to the pitcher. And like you mentioned, really athletic play by Packard there to get the out.
So now here is Hilton. She's got speed, so if she can get on, maybe we can get some stolen bases here. We'll see if the Knights can get Tara Hilton on, and she rifles it on the left field line for a base hit. Hilton takes the big turn. Despite all that speed, she's going to stay at first base. And we'll see if now she will try to steal some bases here. She came in to the doubleheader today with 3 stolen bases on the season.
Hilton not waiting around, just sees a pitch she likes and drives it past the third baseman. Great piece of hitting right there. Look to her, like you mentioned, she's got some real speed. See what she does on the base paths here.
Megan Harmon swings and misses. Hilton thought about going, but decided not to. One out, one on for the Knights here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Megan Harmon showing a bunt, but that pitch was high. Hilton ready to go at first base, and that was fouled away. Harmon looking for a big hit with Hilton at first. There goes Hilton. High throw. Hilton easily picks up her 4th steal of the season.
And you saw the Owls did make the adjustment. The shortstop there was able to cover, but Hilton with just too much speed. The catcher had no chance of throwing her out.
So a base hit by Megan Harmon would give most likely the Knights their 2nd run. Harmon drives it up the middle for a hit. And here comes Hilton.
Going home.
She's going to try to score, and she's in there.
Ooh.
And Harmon is over to second base.
That was interesting. No slide by Hilton. I thought it was a close play, but maybe even more interesting, the catcher didn't even try to apply a tag. Maybe from our angle we couldn't see it as well,
right.
but nice hustle by Hilton, and Megan Harmon keeps her heat streak going. She's seen the ball really well today. That's like her 3rd hit today, I believe. Good work by Megan Harmon. Give herself a little more breathing room as she goes back and takes the mound.
And now she's at second base looking to score. Yeah, when that ball was delivered homewards from the center fielder, I thought this is going to be an interesting play at the plate, but it turned out there was no play at the plate. So the Knights lead 2-0 here in the bottom of the 3rd, looking for a doubleheader sweep tonight against Maine Presque Isle. There's 1 out, and Harmon is at second base. And Michaela Johnson looking for a big hit with Stapley on deck. Grounded to 3rd, and they'll say it's going to be foul.
That's a lucky break there, Michaela Johnson. I'm sure she wasn't planning on hitting it to the 3rd baseman, and Michaela has a pretty solid batting average for the team this year. She came into today hitting .333, looking to add to that today and possibly pick up an RBI.
Rip step ball to left. And
oh,
foul.
No.
That was foul. It had the distance. If she could have straightened that out just a couple of feet to the right, that would have been a homer.
She's certainly seen it well. She drove that one, but like you said, just couldn't keep the weight back enough. Turned on it a little early, and it just turned out to be a loud strike.
See if Michaela can straighten that one out here with Harmon at second base. Outside.
You see Packer there. She's not trying to go inside on Michaela anymore. She's trying to keep that outside corner, make it tough for Michaela to turn on it.
Strike 3 is the call. Big strikeout for Packard there. 2 outs. Harmon at second base. Nice lead here, 2-0. Now Stapley will come to the plate with a chance to deliver a single and bring home Megan Harmon. Stapley showed bunt, then swung away for a foul strike. Gabbert's on deck. Stapley will pull it back again, and that's a ball inside. Now 2 strikes on Megan Stapley.
Megan she'll be looking to protect here. Doesn't have to do too much. Megan Harmon at second base, pretty good athlete. She just needs to find a hole somewhere. She needs to slap at something and make some good contact.
Way outside.
Of course, that can be tough for hitters like Stapley, who has a little power. And in her mind, she knows she has a little power, so sometimes taking some off can be hard.
Swung at strike 3, or ball 3 actually, but the catcher makes the throw down and gets the strikeout officially recorded. Well, she swung at a ball that time, though. Seth was way out of the strike zone.
Yeah, in the dirt there. Those aren't the kind of swings you want to see in your at-bat. Unfortunately for Stapley, couldn't hold up as the Knights go back out on defense.
And the Knights get a run in the 3rd inning, so we'll go to the top of the 4th, and Southern Virginia leads it here 2-0. And we're back here ready to go. Top of the 4th inning. Fast-moving 2nd game. Knights lead here 2-0 after Southern Virginia won the first game of this doubleheader against Maine Presque Isle 5-4. Megan Harmon seems to be rolling right now, pitching a shutout through 3 innings.
And she finished that. Last time she was out, she finished the inning with 2 swinging strikeouts, which you love to see if you're Coach Hall. Like you mentioned, really finding her groove right now and looking to keep that going.
A 1-1 the count.
And even though that one right there, that was a ball, that's the kind of pitch you want to throw. It's so hard to lay off that as a hitter. That was good discipline there, but more of those and you'll see some swinging strikes.
2-1 now on the hitter. Knights got run in the 2nd, run in the 3rd, and here at the top of the 4th, they've got a 2-0 lead, and Harmon gets the swinging strike. Knights trying to get their 4th doubleheader sweep of the season as Megan Harmon records another strikeout. They swept Sweetbriar on the 16th of this month, swept Trinity on the 18th, and swept Mary Baldwin on the 21st. That was that 6-game winning streak the Knights had. And they're trying to start another winning streak here tonight if they can beat Maine Presque Isle here in game number 2.
And 3rd straight strikeout for Megan Harmon there. The young freshman who's making an impact. She's certainly not pitching like a freshman right now. She looks like she's been doing this for a while. And as you mentioned, she came from high school normally playing first base, but she might have found her true talent here pitching tonight.
1 out, and there's a called strike. 1-1 on the hitter. Floats that one up there. So 2-1 now. Pop to third, Gastelum right there. That's the second out. In the first game, Megan Stapley pitched pretty well, but at times the Maine Presque Isle Owls offense was able to get to her, hit a 2-run homer. But here, so far in this game, in the fourth inning with 2 outs in the fourth, Megan Harmon is just overpowering right now the Maine Presque Isle offense.
And that certainly in a doubleheader is a huge key to have a second pitcher you can throw at them. Just different tendencies, different style of pitching. I think, just from our observations, it looks like Megan Harmon's getting a little more velocity on the ball.
Grounded to short. Going to be a tough play. Gabbert throws over, and Iatanu had it and then lost it. Would have been, the umpire was ready to call that the third out of the inning, but Iatanu, with the stretch, could not hold on to the ball at first base, and so Maine Presque Isle has a base runner with 2 outs here in the fourth.
Yeah, good effort there by both Gabbert and Iatanu at first. But as we mentioned, Megan Harmon just getting a little more velocity on the ball. That's an adjustment the Owls are struggling with at the moment, it looks like, trying to catch up to what she's throwing. But got lucky there. Runner on first now. See if the Knights defense can get this final out.
Tight game, though, 2-0. Knights on top. So the hitter at the plate is actually the tying run. Harmon looking to record out number 3 here in the fourth inning. It's a count of 2-0 now. Stroked to second base, and over is Michaela Johnson making the play to Iatanu, and that's the third out of the inning. So Maine Presque Isle gets a base runner, but no runs, and we'll go to the bottom of the fourth with the Knights on top here, 2-0. Molly Gabbert's going to lead off the bottom of the fourth inning with Southern Virginia University leading here 2-0. Knights won the first game of this doubleheader against Maine Presque Isle 5-4, and Southern Virginia looking to get a sweep and improve their overall record on the year to 9-13.
Gabbert came into the doubleheader hitting 275. She takes a big rip there. 275 on the season with 2 home runs, so certainly trying to add to that home run total and improve her average.
And trying to give Megan Harmon a little bit more support. 2-run lead is nice, but I'm sure Megan would like to make that maybe 4, 5, or 6.
Yeah, when you're a pitcher, there's never enough room. I imagine that's the case, especially some of the up and down games Southern Virginia has had this season. They'll take as many runs as they can and try to secure the lead as long as possible.
That one's dribbled foul. Packard, the starting pitcher for game 2 here for Maine Presque Isle, started game 1. In fact, this is Maine Presque Isle's 8th game of the year, and Packard has started all 8 games as the starting pitcher. Way high on that pitch. Pitch is inside, misses. Gabbert wouldn't mind get on with a walk here. Drilled foul, left field line. Gabbert's still alive here, leading off the bottom of the 4th inning. Payton is the on-deck hitter. Gabbert drives it to second, and that's the first out of the inning.
It looked like she just missed that one. Got a little bit under it. Ended up being just a little bloop to second base. Just barely. It could have been easily could have been a drive into the gap for possibly a double, but ends up being a quick out for Packard on the mound there.
And so now Payton will be the hitter. Melanie Payton, freshman. She's in left field for the doubleheader. Fouls that one out of play. It's dugout continuing to make a lot of noise, and that one is away in the ball.
Yeah, I don't know how Packard's doing it right now. She's still pitching all right. If I had the dugout yelling at me the way they are, I guess it's not directed at Packard, but it's certainly a distraction. I would be having all kinds of trouble.
And Payton drives that one to short. Throw over, and that's the second out. So 2 quick outs here for the Knights offensively in the 4th inning. And now Ayatonu will come to the plate as Packard is trying to record a 1-2-3 inning. And Ayatunu way on top of that pitch. And now Ayatonu's got 2 strikes on her. Packard looking for a 1-2-3 inning. Pitch is popped up to third, and that's the 3rd out of the inning. So the Knights go quietly in the 4th inning. We'll go to the top of the 5th. It is still Southern Virginia 2 and Maine Presque Isle nothing. Jim Bresnan had Seth Hansen back here at the Harvey Dryden Field with the Knights 9 outs away from a doubleheader sweep. They won the first game against Maine Presque Isle 5-4, and Megan Harmon has dominated the starting pitching here in Game 2 for the Knights, shutting out Maine Presque Isle in the first 4 innings, and now she'll go to work here, Seth, in the top of the 5th inning.
Yeah, been a relatively quiet game for the Knights on defense. Megan Harmon just doing her thing out there, making it easy. they've got to be happy with what they're seeing, especially Coach Hall. Got to be really excited with Megan's progress, especially as they head into conference play.
Missed that one outside. Megan came in with an ERA of 4.15, so if she can continue to throw shutout ball in the final 3 innings, that's really going to lower her ERA greatly. Knights already played 2 conference games against Penn State Harrisburg this past Saturday, losing both games in a tight second contest. Now the Knights will go to Wesley on Friday. Knights still looking for their first ever Capital Conference win. It would be great to come Friday, Seth, at Wesley. But a lot of those Capital Conference teams in softball action, really in all sports, just really stout, tough teams.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have a challenge before them. You saw them drop the doubleheader to Penn State Harrisburg, so it's fouled back again. Definitely going to have their work cut out for them, but Coach Hall, she feels confident that that they're going to compete and put together some good performances. Again, some of these freshmen that have been in here this year really made a good impact, including, we keep talking about Megan Harmon. She expects her to play a big role, as well as the other freshmen going forward.
And for the upperclassmen, the ones who've been here a year or two, getting that first Capital Conference win would be huge.
Yeah, it would be a big step for this softball program here at SVU at Southern Virginia. And hit up the middle.
Rigby gets it back in, but there's a base runner here for Maine Presque Isle. Megan Harmon trying to maintain her shutout here on the top of the 5th inning. That one's dribbled foul. They throw down behind the runner. And the runner gets back to first base as Michaela Johnson came in behind the runner. If you're Maine Presque Isle here, do you bunt, you think?
I would consider it definitely. Again, we talk about that small ball with how well Megan Harmon is pitching at the moment. You got to do whatever it takes to manufacture some runs.
Including taking pitches, including just in case that Megan starts to run into some control problems.
And that's one thing Megan's been so effective today. She's got them to swing at some bad low strikes. If the Owls want to improve, like you see right here, they're being a lot more patient. That's something that'll get them back in this game is holding off on those low questionable calls.
You got to remember the Owls are only down by 2. In fact, the hitter at the plate is the tying run here in the top of the 5th inning. That one's fouled away. Megan Harmon trying to work through any problems here in the 5th inning with a base runner at first. Another foul back.
A strikeout here would be huge for Megan. Keep that second runner off the base paths. The other thing would be she's hitting the low part of the zone, hoping for a ground ball, maybe a double play.
Low, and she walked her, so it's first and second now. Probably for the entire game to date, Seth, this is maybe the biggest jam Megan Harmon has faced.
Yeah, not how she wanted this to go. 2 runners on, no outs. You see, just as we mentioned, the Owls being more patient up at the plate. Megan's going to have to hit the strike zone a little more and just trust her defense to do the work.
And if you're the Owls right here, I would imagine you might go ahead and bunt. Although, again, the way Megan Harmon has struggled the last few batters, you might just take a few pitches and see if you can get another walk.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Megan is losing control or if she's still just trying to bait him into swinging at bad pitches. We'll see the adjustment here, you know, what the case really is. But she's been hitting the zone all game, so, you know, she knows how to do it. She just needs to settle down a little bit and start putting it in there.
Let's see if the Owls try to bunt to advance the runners. They don't, and there's a swinging strike. One strike on the hitter, 2 on, and nobody out. That pitch is high and away, so 1-1. Attempted a bunt, missed it. It was a foul ball, I believe,
okay.
so the runners who were advancing will have to come back. And 2 strikes now on the hitter. And Megan Harmon, who's got a few strikeouts today here in game number 2, would love to pick up one here.
Yeah, it would be a perfect time for that. Trying to keep anything, though. Any type of out here would be huge. Trying to keep the runners where they're at on the base pass.
High pitch, batter didn't offer at it. Big pitch coming up here for the starting pitcher in game 2, Megan Harmon. That one's low. Don't want to walk the bases loaded here, Seth.
Definitely.
That would really be a jam.
Yeah, definitely the last thing Megan Harmon wants. Good plate discipline by the Owls, though. Going to force her to throw some strikes.
Swung on and missed. Big strikeout for Megan Harmon there. Just blew that one right by her.
Yeah, that was huge. I'm sure it's a huge sigh of relief for Harmon. Now you're looking at a ground ball anywhere would be perfect. Force that double play. She's not out of the gym yet. She's still got some work to do.
Just one out, first and second. That pitch is away.
It's interesting. That looked like a pitch that was called a strike earlier in the game. You saw Megan get a few of those. Looks like the ump has shrunk his strike zone a little bit, so Megan's got to make the adjustment.
2-0. So Megan Harmon falling behind this hitter 2-0, and now she's going to have to work from behind. She'd love to get another strikeout or maybe some sort of pop-up. That one's fouled. I thought they might bunt with nobody out in first and second. I'm not sure about first and second and 1 out, even though you would put 2 runners in the scoring position then.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably go either way as the manager here. I would probably try and do the bunt, but looking like they're letting her swing away right now.
2 strikes.
2 strikes
and
on
Megan
her.
Harmon now a strike away from recording out number 2. Wouldn't that be something if she could maybe somehow strike out the side
Yeah, that
after putting the first 2 on?
would be a huge comeback. Huge composure. Statement about her composure if she can.
Strike
Ooh.
3.
You see that outside corner. It looks like the ump has gone back and forth on whether to call it a strike, and luckily for Harmon right there, he rings up the batter.
So the first 2 reached. The last 2 have struck out. First and second, 2 outs, and Megan Harmon will not try to record the 3rd out of the 5th inning. 0-1. Grounded to third. Gastelum will go to first. It throws low, and Ayatanu comes up with it.
Routine play, great work, great fielding, just fundamentals. Fired the first baseman there and able to bring the snag in and beat the runner to first.
And so Megan Harmon works through a jam in the 5th inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th with the Knights still leading here 2-0. Knights are ready to go to work here in the bottom of the 5th inning, leading 2-0. And Rigby will lead things off. Slap hit down to third base. Shortstop over there makes the play and gets close play.
That was really close. I didn't think there was any way they were going to make that play. Rigby was too fast out of the box, but the umpire felt like she was beat to the bag, and unfortunately 1 out for the Knights here.
And that time it was Lagasse, the shortstop, who came in from behind the third baseman to make that throw. So 1 gone here in the 5th inning for Southern Virginia. I know they would love to get Megan Harmon another run or two here in the 5th. Try to add to a 2-0 lead, even though Megan Harmon is 6 outs away from a shutout victory. That ball hit to center field, and an easy out for out number 2.
Terranova there had a really big cut. Looked like she just got under it just a little much, even just a bit higher, and that thing would have been probably in the other parking lot. She had such a big swing.
So now Tara Hilton will come to the plate. There are 2 outs, but if Tara can get on, she can steal some bases and put herself into scoring position, and she swings and misses.
Definitely, and with Harmon on deck, Harmon's been swinging the ball so well. Seeing Packard again, this is the second game she's faced Packard, so if Tara can get on, look for Harmon to look to drive something into the gap.
And Hilton fouls that one out. A play. Now, even if you don't score anything, Megan Harmon's just 6 outs away from victory, but you got to know that she would love to get just a few more runs. And this one's popped up, and the shortstop puts it away for a 1-2-3 inning for Maine Presque Isle. We'll go to the top of the 6th for the Knights, holding on to a 2-0 lead. Jim Bresney had Seth Hansen back here at the Harvey Dryden Field, ready to go. Top of the 6th inning. Knights holding on to a 2-0 lead, and Megan Harmon, the starting Game 2 pitcher, is now just 6 outs away from picking up her 6th win of the year. She's already thrown 5 shutout innings, so she's been able to lower her ERA, which was 4.15 at the start of the game, under the 4 mark, and maybe headed towards the 3 mark, 3.00, if she can keep on throwing shutout innings. Gastelum throws over, and that's 1 out here in the 6th.
And Harmon, the last inning, as you see, quick out right here, huge for her confidence. But last inning, she got into a little trouble, 2 runners on with no outs, but she showed composure beyond her years. Struck out the next 2 and then finished with a nice quick play at first base. Find that 3rd out, hold her shutout going strong into the 6th inning right here.
And now she's 5 outs away from a shutout victory. One out here in the 6th. That pitch is high. 2-0 on the hitter. Ripped down the left field line. Peyton is there to make the play, gets it back in, so it's just going to be a single. But Packard, who got a 2-run homer in the first game, gets a single here, so she's on first with 1 out. Now Piers will come to the plate. Jackie Piers, who was the first game shortstop, playing second base here in Game 2. This might be the inning for Maine Presque Isle. This is really the heart of their order. They don't score here, they're going to have to go with the bottom of the order in the 7th inning.
Yeah, and all these hitters, they now have seen Megan Harmon starting to pick up on her tendencies a little bit. You saw Packard, the last batter, was able to square it up, and now Jackie Pearce looking to do the same.
Harmon trying to get at least out number 2. Love to get a double play ball here. Sails that one outside. That one's high and tight. Megan Harmon trying to compose herself, get this hitter fouled off. At times, Seth has been able to rely on the strikeout in key areas, and might be right here. Another foul off.
Megan, it looks like she's trying to hit that bottom part of the zone again, looking for that ground ball. Piers, though, doing a good job locating it and just fighting it off to stay alive.
Another foul.
Really fighting it off now. That pitch didn't even look like it was in the zone, and somehow she still made contact with it.
See what Megan Harmon will do here. Well, this hitter trying to get a strikeout. Threw it low. Piers didn't offer at it. Harmon does not want to walk this hitter and make it 1st and 2nd again. That pitch is low. So we have 1st and 2nd, 1 out. Back in the 5th inning. Harmon had 1st and 2nd, nobody out, so she was able to get out of the jam. Now it's 1st and 2nd and 1 out here in the 6th. So Megan Harmon worked out of problems in the 5th inning, and she's going to have to do it again here in the 6th. Grounded back to Megan Harmon. She'll go to third base. They get to Forrest, and that's all they'll get, but that's all important 2nd out.
Yeah, pretty heads-up play by Harmon there. It was pretty clear she wasn't going to make a double play there. And rather than just getting the out at first and having 2 runners in scoring position, she got the lead runner at 3rd.
That was actually the easiest throw to make, I guess.
Yeah, it definitely worked out for her. Now she's got 2 outs. Just any type of out here, a big fly ball would be huge. Get her out of this jam.
There's a called strike. Maine Presque Isle's probably thinking about maybe an extra base hit. Even a homer would give them the lead in this game. Maine Presque Isle only down by 2 here in the 6th inning, but Megan Harmon looking for the 3rd out. Gets that one up for a ball. If Megan can get this hitter, she'll be 3 outs away from a shutout win. Pitches that one low. There's a called strike.
That was a good pitch right there. Haven't seen her go too much on the inside corner tonight. She's mostly been trying to work outside and low, but snuck it in right there. Probably caught the batter off guard for a nice strike. Put him at 2 strikes.
Batter stays alive with the foul. 2-2 now. Harmon's had some big strikeouts in the 2nd game. Knights won the 1st game 5-4, leading here 2-0 in the top of the 6th inning in game number 2, looking for a doubleheader sweep. Harmon took something off that pitch, fouled back.
Yeah, you could see the batter there kind of reaching out, trying to hold up as she started her process of the swing too early. Lucky to foul it off. Megan almost got that one right by her.
So will she come back with a slow pitch or really try to blow it by her here? Right back to Megan, over to first, and that's the third out. And the Knights are now just 3 outs away from a shutout victory. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th with the Knights holding on to a 2-0 lead. Welcome back to Southern Virginia University. Bottom of the 6th inning. Knights holding on to a 2-0 lead here as the Knights are looking to sweep a doubleheader against Maine Presque Isle. Southern Virginia won the first game 5-4. They lead here 2-0 in the bottom of the 6th inning. And Megan Harmon is just 3 outs away from pitching a shutout victory here in game number 2, Seth, and that would be a huge win for her and for the Knights.
Yeah, definitely, and look for Megan to help her cause at the bat right now. Looking to just get on with Michaela Johnson swinging behind her. Both having really good seasons, so hoping to make some noise before going to get those final 3 outs.
Yeah, that's Stapley and Gabbard, so the Knights would love to maybe get 2 or 3 more runs, at least 1 run here in this bottom of the 6th inning to give Megan Harmon just a little bit more of a cushion.
Ooh.
This would be a tough doubleheader loss, by the way, not just for Maine Presque Isle, but for Packard. She's actually pitched pretty well in both games of the doubleheader.
Yeah, it hasn't really been her fault for losing that first game, I wouldn't think. I think it was those extra bases the Knights were taking so freely. But she does look like she might be losing a little bit of her control here. A couple of those pitches now have been over the catcher's head.
And I'm not even sure the Maine Presque Isle coaches could tell you who they would go to if they had to replace her, because they haven't had to do that at all this season.
Yeah, that's pretty brave. She hits it up the middle there.
And Piers, the second baseman, gets Harmon for the first out.
Pretty brave to put all your eggs in one basket with Packard, though. She's handled the challenge nicely, and they were, of course, had a winning record coming into tonight with a 4-2. Of course, now they're 4-3 after dropping that first of the doubleheader. But like you said, I'm not sure what they would do. I'm not sure what their backup plan would be.
Well, you know, I think that looking at their scores for their first 6 games, I thought they had 1 or 2 blowouts, either a blowout loss or a blowout win. You would think that they would take whoever would be, I guess, their designated second pitcher and just give her maybe some practice time, some few innings. As Michaela Johnson hits it to short, and that'll be the second out of the 6th inning.
Yeah, looking at the Owls roster, you see they do have a couple people listed as pitchers. You have
like 5 or 6.
Yeah, you got Jackie Piers, who's obviously playing second base right now. She's listed as a pitcher as well as along with, Ayanna Walker. So it's interesting. You'd probably see one of them, though none of them have any experience right now, so it'd be kind of risky to just throw them into the fire right now.
Stapley, the hitter, with 2 outs for the Knights. They've picked up 2 runs today in game number 2. Stapley hits it to short, and the throw over, and quickly the Knights are gone in the 6th inning. We'll go to the 7th inning. Megan Harmon 3 outs away from a shutout win with the score Southern Virginia 2 and Maine Presque Isle nothing. Jim Bresnahan, Seth Hansen again back here at the fields at Southern Virginia University at Harvey Dryden Field. The Knights right now 3 outs away from a shutout victory. They lead Maine Presque Isle 2-0 here in the top of the 7th inning. And Megan Harmon is 3 outs away from a shutout victory.
Yeah, she's pitching great, though the last 2 innings she has found some trouble, had a couple runners on base. Definitely don't want to put anybody on here, give the Owls any type of life to come back into this game. Looking for that quick 1-2-3 inning like you mentioned.
Well, the last 2 innings, Maine Presque Isle's been able to get runners on base first and second at the last 2 innings, but they've not been able to get anybody home. So we'll see how Megan Harmon starts off this 7th inning. Hit to left field for a base hit. So a base hit for Maine Presque Isle. That was Ayanna Walker, who started the first game. She gets a single right off the bat.
And these hitters look like they're starting to see Megan a little better than they did at the start of the game. They're picking up on that low strike, and they're just driving it to the left side of the field, finding that hole nicely.
And they've got a pinch runner for Walker at first base. So the first hitter reaches for Maine Presque Isle. They've got a runner at first with nobody out here in the 7th inning.
I would look for a steal here as well. Possibly the bunt. The runner looks like, the batter looks like she may have some speed to make it a close throw at first, but they're going to do whatever it takes to try and get that runner over to second.
And we'll see how Megan Harmon reacts to the runner at first here in the top of the 7th inning. Quick pitch, and it's outside. Got to be careful. Don't want to put it right over the plate, Seth, but then again, you don't want to start walking hitters with only a 2-run lead. A bunt, and it'll roll foul. I agree. A bunt for a base hit is really a distinct possibility here for Maine Presque Isle. They would love to advance the runner to second, but let's face it, that's just the first run. They need 2 to tie.
Yeah, and if you're the Knights here, if they lay down a bunt, you just need to get the out at first.
Another bunt
you
attempt.
see it there.
Harmon's going to have to
Go
hurry.
to one. There we go.
They get her.
Huge play. Smart play by Megan Harmon there. Now you have an out on the board. That makes your job easier. The runner is at second, but like you mentioned, they have to get 2 runs here. As long as Megan can do her thing and focus on that batter in the batter's box, everything should go well for her. She just got to keep her composure a little bit.
That was not an easy play to bound off the mound, grab the ball, and make a throw on a dime against a very fast runner.
Yeah, definitely a very athletic play by Megan Harmon there.
So the Knights are 2 outs away from a doubleheader sweep. Called strike, 1-1. Nicole Mariucci, the pinch runner at second base for Maine Presque Isle. Megan Harmon trying to pick up her 6th win of the year. There's a pitch is low, so it's 2-1 now. Stapley won the first game, got her 3rd win of the year. Knights trying to pick up their 9th win as a team, and Megan Harmon trying to pick up her 6th win as a starting pitcher. That ball is hit to Gastelum, and no way she's going to make that play.
Yep.
Runner is safe at first. Other runner moves over to third, so it's 1st and 3rd with 1 out. And again, you got to remember that Maine Presque Isle has to score twice, so you really are focused on that runner at first. You don't really worry too much about the runner at third.
No, if you're Harmon right now, you've got the ball in your hand, just do whatever it takes. She's pitching well. I mean, the first one found a hole, and then that right there, unfortunately, weren't able to make the play at first. But
one attempt, and it goes foul. Again, Maine Presque Isle that time, that was Lagasse really bunting for a base hit, trying to bring home the run, but also trying to get on base because she's the go-ahead run right now.
But you're seeing, I mean, Megan is pitching well. They're not driving the ball into the outfield right now. They're just ground balls that haven't gone Southern Virginia's way, but those are the kind of pitches you want to see. Is there's another.
Harmon will go to first, and did they drop the ball? Or did they get that base runner at first base?
It looked
like I think they're going to say that is going to be the second out, it looks like.
Second out, the run does score.
And Michaela just almost dropped that ball covering first base, so it is now 2-1, and there are 2 outs with a runner at second. Good play there again by the Knights defensively to get the out at first base.
Another athletic play by Megan Harmon. Looked like the first one. Oh, and they overruled it.
So they do say that Michaela Johnson did not hang onto the ball, and that's still just 1 out with runners at first and second now in a 2-1 game.
Interesting that they overruled it like that. You usually don't see that when a coach is kind of making their case from one end of the dugout. I don't know if the coach had an influence or if it was the other umpire who overruled him, but whatever it was, they decided the runner was
Hall's
safe.
Looking for an explanation because that was a huge out they just took off the board.
Rightfully so, she should. When one call is ruled on the field, that generally is what they stick with.
So instead of 2 outs and a runner at second, it's only 1 out with runners at first and second. Megan Harmon still has an opportunity here to get out of all of this with a 2-1 win. But Maine Presque Isle suddenly has the tying run at second if all this stands, and the go-ahead run at first. And I don't believe the umpires are going to change their mind again, but they are explaining things apparently to Coach Courtney Hall. So the Knights were hoping for an easy 1-2-3 7th inning. And it hasn't turned out that way as Maine Presque Isle is battling here in the 7th inning.
And you see Coach Hall, she's not letting it go. Definitely stating her mind here, which I think is good. As a manager, as a coach, you have to defend your players, defend the play that she felt they made. And it sticks in the umpire's mind going forward, other close plays. Subconsciously, I believe. I'm a true believer in making your case because I think subconsciously it gets in the umpire's mind, and they remember that the next time there's a close bang-bang play.
Well, barring, a pass ball or perhaps a wild pitch, there are runners at first and second, but again, there's 1 out. So if you just keep focusing on the hitter and don't allow a base hit, the Knights should be able to hold on here in the 7th inning, but we'll see.
Yeah, and, we've been talking about how well Megan's done. She's had these ground balls. This is a situation, though, where you'd almost rather have a pop-up just because the runners can't advance on any type of fielder's choice. A pop-up will hold the runners where they're at, and it's usually a routine play. You don't have to mess with a throw or anything like that. So we'll see how Megan approaches this batter right here in this crucial situation.
First and second, 1 out, 2-1 your score now. Knights won a tight game in the first game, 5-4. Hit the shortstop. They'll go to third base for the force.
Good play.
And they get it. Molly Gabbard with the big play. Thought they might at least go to second and maybe try to start the double play, but not enough time for that, and they get the lead runner And now there's first and second, and now there are 2 outs.
And in softball, we have those shorter baselines. We've seen, especially today, that those ground balls to short are not automatic outs at first. That's a long throw for Gabbert. She made the right decision, going to third, get the lead runner, so now that a pass ball won't score and tie the game.
So now Megan Harmon is just an out away from getting her 6th win of the year.
Ooh, good call.
Strike.
That was definitely a pitcher's strike right there. It looked pretty close, but we have seen it called tonight. Megan begging for that call, and she got it for sure. So another one of those, and she's looking good.
Now 2-1 the count.
Interesting, because that was almost the same spot we just saw, but felt
I
it
guess
was.
they ruled that one low, maybe?
Yeah, that one was a little lower, it did look like.
2-1 pitch coming up here. Called strike. Now Megan Harmon can end this game with a strikeout. Trying to get her 6th win of the year and a doubleheader sweep. Stroke foul. Oh, they ruled catcher
wow.
interference, and that means bases loaded with 2 outs. Apparently extending the glove, I'm going to guess Terranova must have hit the bat.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, watching at home, anytime it's ruled catcher's interference, so when that catcher extends to catch the ball, if the batter swings and makes contact with that glove, it's, I guess, an infraction, you could call it, on the catcher.
So it's bases loaded, 2 outs. And now Megan Harmon will go to work trying to get that 3rd out of the inning, and there's a called strike. Knights are 1 out away, but Maine Presque Isle is also a base hit away from taking the lead.
Base hit or even a pass ball.
1-1. No place to put the hitter. A walk would tie the game. Good pitch there.
Good pitch. She switched it up. That was different. She's been trying to hit that low part of the zone. Kind of rose up on her and caught the batter off guard, I guess you could say. Great pitch by Megan.
Harmon trying to get the last out, the last strike. Pop to right field. Hilton is there. The Knights win.
Routine fly ball. Great play by Tara Hilton. Just get under it and make the catch. Great work. Great game. Great pitching by Megan Harmon.
2 close games, Seth. The Knights win the first game 5-4, and they hold on here in game 2 to win it 2-1. And with the doubleheader sweep, the Knights are now 9-13 on the season, and Maine Presque Isle, they'll drop to 4-4 on the season. 2 tight games, but the Knights win them both 5-4 and 2-1.
Yeah, great softball played today by the Knights especially. I can't say enough about Megan Harmon pitching in that game, even though gave up that run in that final inning. But being in those pressure situations where her back's against the wall and she has no choice but to fight through it, that's going to be so big going into conference play as they start coming up in their next few games. She's going to take that experience, draw from it, and it should pay off going into conference play.
So congratulations to the Southern Virginia University women's softball team as the Knights get a doubleheader sweep 5-4 and 2-1 over Maine Presque Isle to improve to 9-13 on the season. Knights will be playing next a doubleheader in conference play Friday on the road at Wesley. Good luck to the Knights on Friday. That'll wrap things up here from the Harvey Dryden Field at Southern Virginia University. I'm Jim Bresnahan. Congratulations once again to the Knights for the doubleheader sweep. For Seth Hansen, Josh Adams, and all of our production staff here at Southern Virginia University, thanks again for joining us, everyone, for Knights softball. Have a great evening.